I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
It's the same battle, Mr. Myers. We've been at it before. They want to addict these kids, this time to an e-cigarette, which has a chemical that's addictive. We know what it leads to. Sadly, it leads to tobacco addiction, disease, and death.
I'm going to get you addicted to nicotine. I have a customer for life. We have hundreds of cases nationwide where people have gotten sick or died using these devices.
Look what they're trying to do. All the delicious flavors of e-cigarettes are poison.
They're not people giving up smoking. They're not people that ever smoked before. Most people that vape never smoked before. Just think if your kid was doing this and winds up with an IQ 10 or 15 points lower than he or she would have had for the rest of her life.
Most people who vape are current or former smokers. Legally, e-cigarettes are tobacco products. For the addicted adult smoker who switches, there's going to likely be a reduction in risk.
Addiction is being fueled by kid-friendly flavors and kid-friendly cool marketing. It is outrageous that these companies specifically market their bad products to kids.
There is a moral panic over it.
There is a moral panic,
and they can't find anything wrong with it, so they're hell-bent to find something.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. So, I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
The most disheartening thing is still the anti-choice rhetoric, the desire to enforce this quit or die mentality and refuse to allow individuals to reduce their risk unless they're willing to give up everything.
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
I just love that screeching sound. It just wakes me up. I was taking a nap during that 4-minute intro. I hate it, but yeah, it works. But gives people time to come in and say hello and stuff before I get here. So, hey, Robin Barsky and Skip Murray and other people in the chat room. What's going on? I see there's a couple people in YouTube and a handful of people in the Facebook, and nobody's watching on Periscope, but that's okay. It's there. So how you doing? What's going on for you this Friday? It is a 3-day weekend, so I'm sort of excited. I get to actually sleep. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got a couple projects I got to work on, but tomorrow is a very exciting day for us. Those of us that can actually be in Washington, D.C., I thank you for your efforts, and I hope that you make a loud sound. Yes. Well, Nick. Hi, Nick. Nick says in the chat room this week needs to end already, but the problem is the sooner this week ends, the closer that deadline is next week. So there is that, but I'm just, pleased as punch that you guys are here. Kevin's here too. Kevin, I have Kevin stuck in the green room. He's hiding in the back room right now, but I might let him in. Do y'all want me to let Kevin come in and say hello to y'all? Kevin, I don't know, man. None of them jumped on that. Nobody's like frothing at the bit to get Kevin. Oh, well, I'll still let him in anyway.
Good Lord.
Hey, Kevin.
I heard you were in a good mood. I'm looking for that.
So yeah, after I let you in, Nick and Skip both spoke up for you, but
these are the official FDA binoculars.
Yeah, they got their eyes closed.
There you go.
They got their eyes closed. But hey, you know what it is? It is what it is. FDA is going to do what FDA is going to do.
Yep.
You know, worst case scenario. This is the worst case scenario that I'm looking at based on their words, based on VTA's sort of murky. VTA sent out a thing last week, and I wasn't impressed with it. I wasn't happy with it because there was a lot of ifs and maybes and mights in that.
Modal verbs.
If that's what FDA told them, and they just repeated that, I'm kind of worried because. You know what it is. Even if FDA, let's just put it this way, even if FDA does get everybody's applications, and instead of immediately rejecting the incomplete ones, which is what they said they were going to do.
Yep.
If they say, okay, we're going to send you a letter of deficiency, and you have 90 days to complete what you're deficient on. If the items that are listed on that deficiency letter are HPHC testing, shelf stability testing, human trials, and in vitro and in vivo testing, you got 90 days that you can't do that stuff in.
Right.
So what we have to do is scream
louder,
scream to the heavens that these requirements are unnecessary and impossible, and that you must reform the PMTA process. You must change the requirements. You must either come up with some sort of standards, like product standards. But you know what it is? We just can't give up. We're not giving up. Now, it may seem negative that I'm telling you all these bad things that are going to happen or that could happen. It's not because I'm hoping that they'll happen. It's that I want people to be prepared for that. All these people that are putting forth all this effort, which is an amazing effort to do what they're doing. I saw James Jarvis say that, they submitted several hundred PMTAs, and it was, each document was something like 1,300 or 900. There was a lot of numbers, and it was, close to 3 million pages for all the things that they submitted. I mean, that is gargantuan effort for a small business to try to generate all that stuff. So all these people that are working on this effort should be applauded. Not for laying down and complying, but for fighting for their businesses. There's a lot of jokers out there that are, and I've been flying the fucking pirate flag. I'm going to help smokers as much as possible, but I'm not in the industry, so they can't really. What are they going to do to me? Can't get fucking blood from a turnip. They can't. So, everybody that's there, that's in the DC thing, I'm really supportive of that. There's a lot of great speakers that are going to be there. I'm going to be trying to capture as many different streams that I can find from the show. If there's people live streaming, I'm going to start this thing up, and I'm just going to share screen and move around from one stream to another until I find a good one. And hopefully somebody's there with a good mic setup or whatever and can pick, get the good audio and the good video, and we'll have enough stuff that we can stream it on Twitter. We can, get it out there, because it's not possible for everybody to be there. And we need to show our support by spreading that every possible place that we can, on Twitter, on, if we have to tag Donald Trump like 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times tomorrow, if we have to tag Secretary Azar a couple million times tomorrow, we do that. I mean, literally, there's enough of us on Twitter, and there's going to be enough streams and feeds and places that we can generate enough content to bury them. So anyway, how you doing, Kevin?
This I showed you that thing in the link. I don't know what the spam thing is on it for the folks that are in the chat, but the Wells Fargo thing 2016. Yeah, I threw it in the chat, so it's no big deal. But there's little doubt that the cost and complexity of compliance overwhelmingly favor big tobacco, the goose, at the expense of smaller, less well-funded players, the gander. So there may be some ganders that are funded, and I understand that, but most are not, and that's why I'm here.
Well, I see it now. I can share that on screen real quick, just to
some people may not remember that, but that's
from 2016.
Yeah, and David said in 2014 it was going to be big tobacco. So this is not like something that's a surprise to some people, but like James, like you said, 1.3 million pages or some crazy amount of holy shit, what a file, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's redonkulous. I mean, the amount of and then, obviously now there were a series of tweets from FDA today that also kind of made me chuckle, because I think FDA is trolling people. I literally think FDA is trolling people.
Well, they probably are. They're a little overwhelmed.
they're complaining about people not clicking the text recognition box on their PDF files, and literally, if you own, like I own a copy of Adobe Premiere here, I can open any PDF that was created as a document file.
Okay.
And click one button and it will convert everything to text.
Okay.
So for them to say that it's slowing them down, it literally, I mean, obviously they don't, if it's a couple 1,000-page document, it might take a minute for it to convert that to text, but it is a simple software patch. So when they say that it's slowing them down, I don't really know. I think I really think that they're trolling fucking people, and they're setting up their defense for maybe possibly rejecting a whole bunch of applications, or B, dragging their feet and then kicking out a bunch of applications 2 months from now,
right.
Or C, waiting the entire year and then rejecting everybody. I really feel like they're trolling people and setting up their own fucking legal defense for the future, because I guarantee you, if nothing else, there will be some lawsuits that come out of this.
Wasn't this in 2016 that they?
And there will be ability. You remember we talked about class action lawsuits?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There will actually be monetary damages, and it will not be impossible to build your class then.
Mm-mm.
So after Doomsday, I feel like there's a bunch of lawyers that are probably going to start making bank.
Well, I thought in 2016 they extended it because they wanted a certain part.
Well, they had a staggered. They had staggered deadlines for certain things, right? You had to list your products by a certain date. Then you had to submit health documents by a certain date. Demetrius did like a whole show, and the audio podcast is up on Smoke Free Radio's SoundCloud, or not SoundCloud, Spreaker, and all of our podcast platforms. But it's also on Phil's YouTube page. It was the last DP show, and he went through the entire timeline to explain it. And there was a staggered timeline that things had to be submitted. Now, what's funny is all those things that you already submitted and registered and all that shit is already on file, but you have to resubmit that with your PMTA application. So you're duplicating. See how they like to duplicate things? Right. They like to make you do the same thing over again.
Well, that's the inefficiency of the government. So
So they have a good bit of this information already. They have your product registration when you submitted what products and your labels and all that shit. They had all that. Yeah. So now that's part of your PMTA. If you saved your shit, was already there. You already had it. All you had to do was add the extra shit. And obviously testing at HPHC is one of those things that, we've been telling. I feel bad for some people, but literally I told you guys 3 years ago on this podcast that you should fucking start your testing. So that's their defense. That's what they're going to say is you've had all this time. You've known about it. The list of the list of HPHCs has been published for at least 18 HPHCs.
Let me clarify that. Harmfully and potentially harmful constituents.
Yes. Those have been published. They're, obviously they amended it once, but those were already published. So they're going to use that fucking defense. They are.
Well, of course.
And even if you say, well, there's only a handful of compliant labs that we can use for this testing. And there's a big bottleneck at the lab. If you could at least say, you know what, I sent all that 2 years ago and it's in the bottleneck.
Right.
But
the previous bottleneck, not this current one.
Well, it's just an ever fucking growing bottleneck. So yeah, I just feel like that they've got an excuse for everything. They're laying out their defense for the future. That's why they sent out this multi-piece tweet today or yesterday with all these complaints that blah, blah, blah. We didn't expect this many applications, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, did you not look at the furls? Because there's 3 million products listed on the furls. Do you think people went to all the trouble of registering those products and they're not going to try to get them through?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to link the tweet.
Actually, I was going to pull it up. I got to scroll through my feed to find it because I'm unprepared like you are, Kevin.
Oh, I got this one here. Well, if it lets me open up my emails. Where are you? There you are.
Yeah, I found it already.
Yeah,
I found it already. All right. So yeah, this is one. This is one of the whiny ones. As FDA begins processing 9 submissions.
Stop. What? I'll donate $50 to CASA if Patrick says something positive.
Who said that?
Skip.
Hey, I'm so happy and excited that there are going to be thousands of vapors standing in front of the White House tomorrow.
Thousands.
Screaming at the top of their voices, hear us. It is so awesome that that many people are going to be there.
I just noticed that. Skip.
And literally fighting for the future of this industry, fighting for the lives of smokers, and fighting for people's right to choose. Yes. I think that's pretty positive.
It's pretty positive.
That's pretty positive. Skip, I want to see that receipt from CASA. Anyway, as FDA begins processing 9 submissions, we are seeing issues that impact processing time. For example, files without text recognition enabled make it harder to search for key info such as nicotine strength and the date the product entered the market, and if a product is currently marketed. Notice, you remember a couple weeks ago when I said that they were going to do software? Mm-hmm. They were going to start screening through with software. Somebody called me an idiot in the PMTA group because they said I didn't know what I was talking about. That's a perfect example of what I said was going to happen. I'm just saying.
I think the words you used were key words.
I believe so.
And text recognition, I'm pretty sure. But
I'm pretty damn sure.
Words. I don't even like you, so I'm not going to defend you on purpose, but that's what I do actually think you said.
Yeah, anywho. So there's some awesome people responding to this. We know many of these people. There's Chris Bristow and Lindsay Stroud, and some of these I don't know. Scout. I know Scout Stubbs. Yep. She's from Arkansas. She's a member of the Arkansas VTA board.
Rain Man. Yep. I know both of those.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know their real names for some of these people.
No, I don't either.
So Bruni says that FDA tobacco blocked him. Well, see, luckily I'm American, and in America, the federal government can't block citizens from Twitter, from their official Twitter accounts. So if there's something you want me and Kevin to say for you, Bruni, you let us know, and we will include it in a tweet.
Just send it to me.
So I did want to, just to show. I'm going to go down here to my profile. Look at my pretty robot
You've done good like 3 weeks in a row with your tweets. I'm very impressed.
Oh, there we are, right there.
Oh, good Lord.
So there was a tweet the other day which really it was in response to that FDA tweet that I just saw. The next tweet down. So I really wanted to show. Oh, that's for later. Oh, that's they're
well.
That's not the one. Where did it go? Come on now. Oh, here it is. So FDA says today, FDA Tobacco Director Mitt Zeller published a perspective piece on FDA's preparations for September 9th pre-market review submissions deadline for deemed new tobacco products and the guiding principles for allocating review resources. And there's a link to a pamphlet, an electronic pamphlet that they generated. So my tweet says, thanks for the restatement of existing non-helpful info. This is what FDA Tobacco does and has been doing to small vaping companies all along. Promising assistance and releasing old info is new. Where is the small business help that Secretary Azar promised at Donald Trump? Step up now, PMTA reform. So, yeah.
You got me giggling at the first sentence. If I'm sitting alone reading this, or if I have 7 people behind me, on occasion I do, I start giggling. What seemingly is to myself, but
yeah, I mean, everything that they've released, all of these guidance documents was with info that was already available.
Yeah.
There has been no new fucking information. Everything in this in the guidance and everything in all of these new releases that they keep saying, or we're trying to help you out. Here's some new stuff. It's all old stuff. There has literally been no new information passed out. So yeah, I wanted to point out that everything that they had in that pamphlet was information that we already knew. They just repackaged it. So now they can say, well, we released this information on a couple weeks before the deadline to help these people out, but it's all shit that they had already said. It's all none of it's new. Nothing is new.
What scares me is that they look really important and it's great on paper. But that you much more than I, that consumers and others in the room, obviously, too, can pick out every single idiotic point that they make because they know the FDA regulations better than the FDA does.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this on screen for a second.
Yep.
I'm just going to put this on screen for a second just to leave it there for maybe 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Don't look at that again. Don't worry about that again.
I saw the word liberty in there somewhere.
It said libertarian. And candidate.
Candidate. Ooh. That gets the cockles of my heart all warm.
And come on my show.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that don't say that. No, not yet. Anyway, so yeah, this week has been pretty exciting on Twitter, pretty fun. There's been a lot of opportunities to do stuff that was fun and snarky. So, do you want to get pissed off? Do you
absolutely?
Do you really want to get pissed off? Okay, so I'm going to show a little short video, 30-second video clip that will just make you so happy. So here, take a look at this.
The doctor's in.
Hey, Doc. Does vaping really make me more likely to get COVID?
Well, we don't have all the science on COVID-19. What we do know is that vaping can damage the lung and weaken your overall immune system. The best defense against COVID-19 is social distancing and a strong immune system. So medically, I'd skip the vape.
Boom, 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 boom.
Jerry already said this in March. You can't piss me off. Not for that one.
But you got a really cool image of a doctor with a skeleton and balloons in his chest cavity, and he gets to pop them with balloons and say that vaping damages your lungs.
The first thing he says is, "We don't know enough." It's the first.
No, he says we don't know enough about COVID, is what he said.
No, we don't know enough.
So he was making we don't know enough about COVID, but then I'm going to make unsubstantiated claims about vaping and damaging your lungs because I already said I don't know enough about COVID. So they're going to believe what I say about lungs because I admitted not knowing this. So now I can make an authoritative statement about this and you'll believe me.
Plus I'm popping lungs and that makes it look.
Plus it's really cool because I get to pop balloons. That was released 2 days ago on the Truth YouTube page. I did not show you the Truth YouTube version because I'm not sending people to go click on that video. I'm just not doing it. So you can look it out. You can look for it yourself. But I saw that and I just I have to show that to my peeps because this is stupid.
I think my lung just popped. Nope, that was the dog.
You remember like a year and a half ago they were talking about black spots on lungs from vaping, and now they're just popping them like balloons, man. It's the vaping virus has mutated and it's got more damaging now. So not only does it put black spots on your lungs, but it also just pops them like a balloon.
They explode. Exploding lung. That's the next one. Exploding lung. Yeah.
So there, that was that. I thought that was worth a view. That was worth it. That was, just to say hi.
I'd like to hear how they can justify thinking that children are that stupid.
Well, did you not see the video last week, the toilet video 2 weeks ago, whatever? Did you not see the toilet video where they said kids are so stupid that they'll drop shit in the toilet and still take it out and put it in their mouth? Did you not see that video? So of course they think, but they are also claiming these, a different public health corporation. So that's my new nomenclature. That's what I'm not going to say public health groups anymore because I think that we've proven that they're not literally public health groups anymore. They are, they're public health corporations. I'm actually, the reason that I mentioned that is I did respond to a lovely tweet today in regards to that, and I feel like I should promote the original tweet. So that all you people that are in the chat room that are on Twitter, you should go on Twitter right now and follow along and find these people and retweet their tweets. Not just mine. Mine are good, but I'm going to show you, we need to be spreading all of the wealth. We need to be making sure that the good words get out to as many places as possible. Here, I found it. I think I found it. Yeah. So, Kara, you know Kara, right?
Yeah.
You know Kara Tibbetts, right? So Kara Tibbetts is upset because the Lung Association, which we're going to get deep into this, Lung Association put out a tweet, right? And it made some really far out claims. But so anyway, she says, was about to give Lung Association a piece of my mind, but apparently public health organizations are allowed to be biased. They silence the public by blocking their tweets from being able to have responses from anyone but who they are personally following. Cowardly. So this is a screenshot of their tweet. So it says, every day, nearly 8,000 kids start vaping. So think about that number for a second. Our new vape-free schools initiative, shouldn't schools already be vape-free since we have laws existing that prevent this?
Don't talk about that.
Okay. So anyway, help schools navigate the public health crisis of youth vaping. And then there's a thing to their web portal. There's a link to their e-learning in their web portal. So she circled it here. This is since it's a screenshot, she just wanted everybody to see. The only people that can reply to the Lung Association's tweet are people that Lung Association follows.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't follow you, you can't respond to their statements.
Right.
So then, of course, I have to pipe in. I say, I think we should stop calling Lung Association and their ilk public health organizations. Let's call them what they really are, public health corporations. They profit from selling a product. In their case, misinformation is a very lucrative business. Public health in name only. Hashtag Fino. Thank you, Brian Foytik.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fee, who is at Fee Rochus, says, yep, corporate lobbyists that hide their greed with an unrealistic moral and Puritan platform. So after a little bit of work, obviously, I can't comment on their tweet because obviously they don't follow me.
Right.
But I can go and do a quoted retweet.
Yep.
And tag them, right?
Yep. And Harold
So,
Weaver.
I was really interested in that number, that 8,000 kids number. So there were a couple tweets that made me kind of that I did, and obviously here, let's go to this one. It says, is a Lung Association saying that during a lockdown, America's parents can't control their kids? They claim that 8,000 kids a day are illegally acquiring vape products during a lockdown, or while lockdown. Or
8,000 a day start. 8,000 a day start.
Yeah. So
start.
8,000 kids per day.
They're going to run
are
out of
somehow illegally acquiring product while they're basically under their parents' nose.
Yeah.
During a pandemic lockdown. These kids can teach the mob a thing or two about smuggling and law breaking if that's the case.
Yep.
I mean, literally, how can they even justify this claim? 8,000 kids per day. So, I believe so. Yeah. So Sonia replies to my tweet. She says, from the end of March to the end of August, that's 5 months. That's approximately 1.2 million kids have started to vape during lockdown. If you're using Lung Association's math, that's 1.2 million
during the summer.
During this lockdown. I mean, seriously, kid. I mean, this is fear porn at its highest. I mean, we have enough things that are people are afraid of so much stuff right now. This COVID thing, and yes, COVID is real. The COVID thing, obviously they're worried about their futures, their finances, because a lot of people can't work or haven't been able to work or just now getting back to work, and they're behind in their bills, and their kids are either going to school like hybrid, like part-time, or half the kids are going to school, or a lot of kids are staying at home and going to school. The ones that work, the parents that work, they're leaving their kids at home. How are they supposed to do that? Because, so there's a lot of fucking stuff to be worried about. And the number one thing, you tell a mama that somebody's going to hurt their kid.
Yeah, they're going to kill you.
Have you ever seen a fucking lion, a lioness protect the cub?
Yes.
I mean, literally, this is what's going to happen. So not only is everybody already on the edge, they're already scared. Then they say, oh, they're coming after your kids. Well, that's just a fucking disaster waiting to happen, because mamas will fucking go crazy. I mean, look at Pave.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bunch of fucking crazy moms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's a gaggle.
I'm just, maybe they're not so maybe they're not so evil, Pave.
Oh.
Maybe they're just really gullible women. And not all women are gullible. Don't even. We had. I'm just saying. We've had more female guests on this show than male guests on the show. So I'm just saying, and all of them were brilliant, intelligent, awesome women. But anyway, Maybe they're just buying into all of the propaganda, and they're not smart enough to critically think for themselves, and they're just acting out of fear. Maybe PAVE isn't. I'm just saying. Maybe they're not evil. Maybe they're just bought into it. Maybe these are the people that are like acolytes to the body part groups, and they just think that whatever the body part groups say is real. Maybe. I'm just saying. Because moms, you threaten their kids, they'll fucking pull out a gun out of their purse and pop a cap in you without even considering it. I mean, my mama used to carry a 357, and moms, they have those big Samsonite purses. At least they did when I was a kid. And my mama had everything in that fucking purse. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she reached in there and pulled out a large pizza when we were at the movie theater, because we were that poor. We did that. We weren't allowed to have movie theater food. So we had mama snuck in food. So anyway, maybe they're not so evil. Maybe they've just been brainwashed like the general public has. And they are just the most defensive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that I've seen some like breakdowns on finances, and I know some of them are kind of sketchy, but it's possible. Hey, Leanna. So yeah, that was one tweet. I did want to show you another tweet though, because that's in relation to that particular tweet from American Lung. Because I'm really concerned now, because I really think that if their stuff is accurate, there is like a fucking cartel of kids, like the vape cartel, and it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
So my question is how is it, or is this how 8,000 kids a day are getting those illegal for them to have vaping products? Lung Association. How is this supposed to happen during a lockdown? Where are all these kids running their vape cartel from? And then I found, I had this picture of a police officer during Prohibition, and he's, found some stuff. Maybe this is how they're doing it. Maybe they're sneaking it in like the panels in cars or something. Because
rats.
It concerns me that these kids are somehow getting enough illegal vape gear that they can sell them or get them to 8,000 other kids.
Yeah.
I
sold Hubba Bubba as a kid. That was my black market.
No. I when I was a kid, the Fruit Strike gum and Blackjack.
And Blackjack. Oh yeah.
Were the faux shizzle.
So you were a pirate way longer ago.
Oh man, the Blackjack gum was, and everybody wonders why I like good anise flavored vapes. Not all anise good anise flavored vapes. Gotta make sure we control that diet. That speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Blamar, for your participation earlier. An unsolicited moment of time there.
Well, he must be talking to you here.
What's that? Dickheads.
Well, he actually spelled it properly, but that's not how he pronounces it. No. Blameyer's kind of weird. Blameyer's weird because, like, last night at midnight, we were in a Zoom, and I said, dude, I gotta fucking go to bed. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I wake up and go to work, and at like 10 o'clock, he's there. He's like on Messenger.
Yeah.
At 12 o'clock at noon, he's on Messenger. He's tweeting. At 2 o'clock, I texted him, I messaged him. I said, dude, go to fucking bed, because in Australia, it was like, it had to be like the boy hadn't slept. And I'm like, dude, go to sleep so that you can be awake for the show. Come on, go, man.
Just drinking his bounty.
I don't know, man. Mr. Blameyer. So, Kevin, what do you got to say? Do you got some,
All I know is that it's I think I had it earlier. 54,562 out of 9 of our nation's youth have a possibility of being lied to on a daily basis. That was in reference to the truth one, but we already skipped past that. So I know there's a whole shitload of what?
You know, I just got the thing that you tweeted me or that you messaged me from Skip. I'm gonna throw it on screen for just a second, just to prove that Skip did what she said she would do, because she is a woman of her word. Boom.
Skip always does what she says she's going to do. Boom.
I did, because I don't know if there's any information. I can't, there's smarter people than me that could probably do something with that transaction number. So I just flashed it up here fast. So I don't, but she is a woman of her word.
Yes, she is.
Next time, tell her to send me the money, because I need money, but I need a booze fund, man.
And she was having a bad day the other day, so supporting each other is also important.
It is, and we're gonna actually show some of Skip during the show tonight.
Oh, good, good.
Not now, but sometime between now and the end, before we leave, we're gonna show some Skip, because we love us some Skip.
I do love a cranky old broad.
Speaking of things that we love, though, this thing,
that thing,
somebody that's got a phone number for Aspire needs to get them in touch with me, because I like this thing. I like it. And I really like the new bourbon apple tobacco liquid that came out of my mixer about 2 weeks ago, that I just now opened the bottle of, because I had to give it some steep time. This is good stuff right here. I'm just saying. I feel good for myself. I want to pat myself on the back. I did something good.
That Paul, I mentioned that tweet, and you actually earlier with Patrick.
Yes, we're
going to go roundabout, but we're going to hit it.
We'll get where we going to get. We're going to get where we going to get.
Did I show
I'm
you?
really talking hillbilly right now.
The Phil and Demi tube? Have I ever shown
you?
Yeah,
fuck you. Yeah,
I'm just checking.
Yeah, fuck you. I know.
You were so positive earlier. What happened? I'm telling you. I know.
So sad.
Yeah, Skip's been rolling for a week. Week.
Skip's always a little bit on fire. Always a little bit on fire.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Oh, this is what I was doing.
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing half the time either. We're winging this shit right now.
There's thousands of badasses in DC right now, though. So
there are. Well, knock on wood. There's thousands of badasses.
Thousands. I hope it's 3 times bigger.
I hope there's so many people that the ellipse is overflowing. I literally hope that there's more people there than we can count. Cause it's awesome.
I gave you the leeway.
I'm actually scrolling through your
God
your Twitter feed right now.
Shit. Okay.
Just to see if just in case there's something really cool to talk about. Oh, here we'll do this one. Yeah, this one.
We'll do this one.
We'll do this one. So this is this thing that you retweet every week. This is the Vapors Digest from Vapors UK. This is the digests of September 2.
I actually do every Wednesday.
So everybody that's not already following Vapors UK, it's at Vapors.org UK. Go get this and follow it, and then read the stuff, because they go to all the trouble of doing it.
There are. I joke about this. It's news hounds, and it's literally some of us. They invited me in that group, and we look for news, or if we see something worthy, good or bad, for those of you who don't know, It will come up on there, and it's searchable. It's linkable. It's all free. There's no subscription. You can subscribe to the blog, of course, and you should, and it'll come to your email a lot easier than me tweeting it. But yeah, they're really good people. There is no cost. Look at Kristen.
Yes, the lovely Kristen Nomarsh, who has been a guest on one of the wonderful women guests that we've had on Son of Liberty Radio. Has a tweet here that you retweeted. So I'm just going to talk about tweets that you retweeted.
All right. Go on.
So she's actually talking about this jerk that Paul was talking about, Tahir Turk.
Jerk off.
Who is an Australian anti-vape dude who apparently is on the payroll for who did you say? Bloomberg. Well, Bloomberg.
Might, likely, possibly.
Well, yeah, there's some documentation that might show that he is receiving fundage from the Bloomberg fella. Anyway, he tweeted, "Is there an animal product in plant? If there is animal product in plant-based meat, then it could be meat. Just like if there is nicotine in e-cigarettes, then it's a tobacco product.
Would be meat.
Yeah, it would be. Not that hard, is it?
So now school me for a minute, Patrick. If I have a plant-based hamburger, is it hamburger or is it plant? I'm not a vegetarian.
Plant-based hamburger?
Yeah, is there meat in it?
No, not if it's plant-based.
That's what I thought. Okay, go on. I'm not the brightest bulb.
A veggie burger does not have meat in it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So he's wrong.
So, of course, he's wrong. Didn't you get it by the tone of if there is animal product in plant-based meat?
I just want to make sure the stupidity is.
Then it would be meat. I mean,
oh my God.
So, we eat meat and non-meat animal products, milk and eggs for protein, fat, and other nutrients. Beans and legumes also contain protein, fat, and other nutrients. Yet beans and legumes most definitely aren't regulated or classified as animal products / meats. Because, yes, I mean, by definition, animal product means it's from an animal.
Oh.
And obviously there's
Michelle right below her.
So she this is a whole thready thing. It's one of those thready things. Yeah. So obviously she's responding to this douchebag. So again, let's show his tweet. Eggplants do not contain nicotine. There's only one product which contains nicotine. It's called tobacco. How hard is that to fathom? Which is absolutely wrong. So she says, when a School of Public Health adjunct professor at a University of Health Sciences illustrates how completely ignorant and biased ants are regarding tobacco facts, insisting all nicotine plants are tobacco with no benefits. These are experts and our governments listening to. So this is a guy who's apparently, you Aussies in the room, Bruni, I see you. I saw Tom. Tom is a Kiwi, but he's close enough. You guys need to go and find this guy and go to the school where he teaches and try to get, I mean, obviously petition to get this guy fired because he's making obviously inaccurate statements. And if he's supposed to be some sort of PhD or, health sciences teacher or whatever it is that he is, this is actually bad if he doesn't know. If he doesn't know that nicotine is actually in other things.
Paul's found him.
and Tom's mad.
Oh,
Tom's mad because I said that Kiwis and Aussies are close. Geographically, you are close.
That's like playing with yourself and calling it sex.
Oh, apparently. Okay. Apparently
she's going to get us in trouble.
So then obviously she's finding, obviously eating nicotine containing produce like peppers and tomatoes may lower Parkinson's risk. This is a screenshot from a CBS News article that Kristen has used. It says a new study shows that eating foods that contain naturally occurring nicotine may help or may be able to reduce the risk of Parkinson's disease. So this Tahir Turk guy, obviously then she's just trolling him now. Like she's already proven her point. So then she goes to like Wikipedia or whatever and finds another thing that says eggplant seeds, and they have many contain nicotinoid alkaloids, which are responsible for slightly bitter taste of purple berry. The concentration of nicotine itself is about 100 nanograms per gram. So it's very minuscule. We're talking, which is compared to 2 milligrams of nicotine per cigarette. So yes, this is like 1 million times less. But yeah, so that takes us to where we were. And then obviously our lovely friend Michelle Minton's and Sparkles both responded in here.
I love Sparkles.
And he apparently he's blocking everybody, and then he deleted he deletes anything that he gets or he gets caught on. But yes, Skip wants everybody to know that it's hard for me. I got 2 monitors here and I'm moving my mouse around, and I see my mouse moving over here on this screen. So I'm trying to reach over here and click on something, and I need to be on this screen. Yeah. Nick wants everybody, Skip wants everybody to know.
The cranky old broad, yeah.
She knows nicotine.
I know she does.
But other people don't know nicotine.
Yep. I barely like her.
Barely?
Barely.
Don't be mean to the grumpy old lady.
Cranky old broad.
Oh, well, what's the difference between cranky and grumpy?
Well, not a lot.
Is it like different degrees or what? I mean, is grumpy here and cranky's here, and then like furious is down here? I mean,
Truth Initiative and Dr. Farsalinos.
Dr. Farsalinos is not on my cranky list.
Well, you want the levels.
Oh, well, then, like, he's way up here, though. I mean, if you're putting Truth Initiative is like here, like he's way up here.
Balance of the scale.
Yep. So apparently, Bruni says that Australia is New Zealand's West Island.
So New Zealand owns Australia?
That the way that sounds is that he's saying that Australia is the West province of New Zealand.
See, and even Paul said, you better step away from the salad bar. Yes, certain vegetables contain nicotine. Again, I will reiterate what you've said. It's minuscule, but there is nicotine in it.
It is there. It is there. That the whole point is this guy is supposed to be some sort of scientist or college professor or whatever.
Right. And we're consumers.
That an entire family of plant life doesn't exist.
And niacin.
And vegetables.
Niacin. Right. Niacin is a close relative, I guess. So.
Well, they both start with an N.
Oh, that's true.
They both start with an N.
FDA and fuck both start with an F. There you go.
Well, I mean, really, they're gonna fucking do something to everybody soon.
Leanna's in the room.
I said hello to Leanna when she came in, and she said I was late and didn't say hello. And I saw it. I said hello, Leanna. Where you been?
Where have you been? What are you doing? Are you still on mine?
No, I moved away.
Okay, good.
I moved away. There was another thing. Oh, Paul Blair. Paul Blair tweeted today, and I just had to say something.
I can delete that one, all right.
In response to Paul Blair.
Yeah.
Because Paul's relatively known in the industry and around the circles and everything, but he says if the FDA runs out of time over the next year to review PMTAs, the honest and just thing to do would be to extend the deadline for all applications that have not been reviewed or rejected. I'm confident they will do this. So that was in response to Sarah's tweet here. She says, might not bode well for review of every e-cigarette that wants to stay on the market. Major players like JTI and Reynolds American submitted their applications earlier this year, but smaller manufacturers were already stressed out about meeting the deadline. And that is in response to the complainy whiny tweet that we talked about earlier.
Right.
So the reason I brought this up is because I felt like I needed to chime in, and I said, well, did you say honest and just when referring to nanny state government enforcer, FDA tobacco? Surely you were trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, when he said honest and just, I'm going to highlight honest and just and chuckle a little bit.
Chuckle a little, scroll back down. Drill down just a little bit for the next one, I think.
Oh, to the next one? Unethical not to?
No, I was talking about Tom's. It's an interesting point. 1,500
there are 4
pages,
million products? Yeah.
400 million. Each PMTA is about 1,500 pages long. Even if they receive a PMTA for a fraction of those 400 million, how can it not take them decades?
I believe that there's actually 400 million products registered with furls. I think that's an over-exaggeration. But you got to consider every PMTA that has been approved has been over 300,000 pages.
Right. And that's for 4 products, right?
Yes. So if he's saying that I mean, obviously, this is the worrisome part. This is the worrisome part. When big guys play in the same pond as the little guys.
Yep.
So the big guys RJR, they submitted in April. Juul submitted last month. AES, which is not a huge player, but they submitted theirs.
Yep.
Avail submitted theirs, and I already gave you the stats on all of those things over the last couple of weeks. I know how much Juul paid for theirs. I know how much AES put into theirs. I know how much Avail put into theirs, and Charlie's Chalk Dust.
Yep.
They submitted theirs, and they told everybody how much they spent. They spent almost $5 million on theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if those guys are setting the bar.
Right.
So FDA is stupid, and they're going to, for the purposes of this, we're going to say FDA is stupid. Okay. So FDA is stupid, and they have no expectations preconceived on what is in the PMTA other than the step-by-step process, right? These are the requirements. So if RJR or RAI, which is the vapor wing of RJ Reynolds, if Reynolds American put in theirs and they paid $25 million for theirs, and their application is 300,000 pages, and that is the burden of proof that everybody else has to reach.
Right.
1,500 pages is not going to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now take it on the opposite side. Take it, FDA is going to say, you know what? We're going to be as lenient as possible. We're going to be as lenient as possible, get as many of these products approved as possible. Then you got big ass players like RJ Reynolds, Altria, all the big players that have submitted their multi-million-dollar applications that followed the guidance exactly because FDA said we're not going to accept incomplete applications. They said that. So if they say stuff like that, and then they change their mind and they say, well, we're going to be a little bit more lenient, what do you think those big motherfucking companies are going to do? They're going to fucking sue the FDA.
No.
So, like I said earlier, when I said that a lot of attorneys are going to make some money off of this, a lot of attorneys, either way, are going to make some money. So if you're an attorney and you just happen to go into school for regulatory affairs and you got a lot of experience in this, you should be putting your shingle out. You should be like putting out the announcement. Did FDA screw your company?
FDA
Reach out to me. I want to sue the motherfuckers.
FDA chasers instead of ambulances.
Yes. So The first bill says that I need to stop spreading real facts like the FDA is stupid. You'll hurt their feelings while they're trying to kill us. And then he spreads more information in the chat room. He says Reynolds filed over 500,000 pages of scientific data for their PMTA, which they've been working on for 6 years. So this is the unfair. I mean, obviously, life is not fair. The world is not designed to be fair. This is the unfair thing. Like I said a while ago, this system, when you have big fish and little fish swimming in the same pond, the big fish are going to eat the little fish. For one thing, those big tobacco companies have experience working with FDA on PMTAs prior. The big tobacco companies, anybody that sells cigarettes,
they know each other.
Well, not only that, but if they release a new product, and obviously we've seen some new cigarettes come to market, they've already submitted a PMTA. They have experience filling out these forms. They have, well, obviously Reynolds and those companies have huge scientific divisions. They have, wonderful labs. RJ Reynolds has the beautiful lab in Switzerland. Like there's video of that lab and you're like, oh my God, this is like Star Trek. I mean, this is crazy. So of course.
And they also know how to skirt the law right to the edge without really hurting themselves. So
Skip, you're going to have to talk to Julie about that. I can't give you a refund now that I went into my unhappy place.
You started off earlier saying you were in a good mood.
I am in a good mood. My good mood is the fact that I can share information with you.
That's right.
I can't judge the flavor of the information. If the information doesn't taste good to you, I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
That's your perception.
So, yeah. Oh, you know what, Kevin?
What?
You know what? Give me 1 second here. I'm going to change the way I'm going to show you another video. This one's about 2 minutes long, but instead of sharing it and covering both of us on screen, I'm going to put it on screen so that we can watch it live in real time.
Okay.
So it's going to take me a minute because I have to go through a different process. This is not the other video that I already promised Skip that I would play.
Okay.
This is another one. This one's going to make you. This is going to make you happy.
Oh, good.
It's not. It's really. It's more like a rage sweat inducing video, but I didn't want to piss you off right away. I didn't want to let you know that I'm going to piss you off right away, at least.
So just get my drink card out now.
Yeah, you can. Well, you can only use the drink card if you're going to drink.
Or encourage others to do so. I beg to differ.
Huh?
What?
Huh?
I said,
what?
Or encourage others to do so.
Yes, I'm going to actually turn the volume down just a little bit because the words are not nearly as important.
Oh, for Christ's sake, it's got words. Now I know I'm going to be pissed.
Well, I want people to be able to hear your responses to this.
Oh, as it runs?
As it runs, yeah. We're gonna talk over it like Mystery Theater 3000 thing.
Okay.
Right. So here it is. This is a new ad. It's called Straight to Vape: Pervasive Tobacco Imagery in Popular Shows. This is also a new video that was just released.
Really smoke.
So I'm going to pause it for a sec. Did you see that flash across the screen where it says content is the new tobacco commercial?
Now listen, God damn it. If you have to piece together 20 fucking pieces of people smoking or vaping to get to this fucking thing.
Okay, so let's. All right, let's go through this.
Talk about it.
So I can go through this. We can go through this pretty slow. Okay, so all right. I want you to count the cigarettes.
One, One frame at a time, right?
All right.
1, 2.
One cigarette. That's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
One vape.
Yeah.
3 to 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's another cigarette. That's 4.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. 2 vapes.
Same image.
No, it's a
2
different
vapes.
girl. It looks like the
okay.
same device, but it's a different girl.
All right.
2 vapes, 7 cigarettes. Oh, yeah, these are the same. So they repeated a couple of them. So we'll say 2 to 7. So it says content is the new tobacco commercial. So then they go to okay, another smoker.
9.
Another smoker. 10.
What is that?
That's a Netflix show called Big Head or something like that, I think.
Okay. Liana feels
11.
Oh, that looks like Paul.
No, that's a Doctor Who, or at least it's the guy that used to be Doctor Who. 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 12 smokers, 12 people smoking cigarettes.
And then what does it say?
Fueling. Yeah.
Fueling the e-cigarette.
Content is the new tobacco commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's posing a new threat by fueling the youth e-cigarette epidemic. So how can you draw a correlation to cigarette smokers on TV brainwashing your kids into vaping?
Right.
So we're going to hit play. A groundbreaking new Truth Initiative study establishes first link between smoking imagery on the small screen and youth e-cigarette initiation.
Well, obviously that's true.
Because it's from the Truth Initiative, and we know that they're a public health corporation. Okay, there's a ghost smoking a cigarette, a dead guy smoking a cigarette, and that's gonna make kids go buy a vape
in an attic.
Young people are 3 times more likely to start vaping when exposed to smoking imagery in shows.
That sucks.
More cigarettes, more people smoking cigarettes. They've still only showed 2 people vaping. The youth. What did that last slide say? I missed that one.
That number.
The pandemic has teens binge watching more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And youth tobacco use is a historic high. Okay, so we're in a fucking pandemic. Everybody's locked down. All this, people are wearing masks. Stores are closed or not closed anymore, but people are not, milling about as much. Kids are obviously supposed to be staying the fuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
How? I mean, how is this possible that under the noses of like being around your kid 24 hours a day?
Obviously,
how are they supposedly I'm like, this is like making me at a loss for words. How are they supposed to be getting these e-cigarettes?
You have to be 21 to purchase these alleged tobacco products.
Right. So shouldn't they do something about with the existing laws that they have, like stop these convenience stores and stuff from selling to kids?
I mean,
I'm not one of those people that believe that every vape shop in America is following the rules. I don't believe that. I don't believe anybody with a brain cell believes that. But by and large, I will admit that most of the youth are getting their shit from social sources or buying them at convenience stores or at vape shops. I mean, you can't tell if a legal person comes in and buys an extra device. Right. You don't know that they're going to turn around and go and sell that to some kid. You don't, if you're going into a convenience store, if you're a very smart, like black market guy that sells to kids. You know, there's a convenience store on every corner, and even if they put in bulk limits, you can go over there, buy 5 packs of pods. You go over there, buy 5 packs of pods. You go over there, buy and then give them to kids at 3 or 4 times the price that you paid for them at the convenience store.
Yep.
I mean, there's entrepreneurs out there that that are doing shit like that. So yeah, it says here in youth tobacco use is at a historic high. 27.5% of high schoolers vape. So they're saying over a quarter of the kids in high school in the United States are fucking vaping.
Right.
That's like that 8,000 kids a day are vaping,
Well, they're confusing the gaggle of blank Karens because they're saying tobacco use because now they call it tobacco.
Now they're combining smoking and vaping in that tobacco use survey. I still think that that's bullshit.
And the
I
tobacco,
think it's probably like 15%.
The cigarette smoking is down to the lowest again, I think, in history at like 1 or 2%. I don't have it in front of me. And the vaping daily, Charles Gardner always has these numbers. It's 7.2 or 7.3 daily vaping. 7.2 or 3. 27 is an overall average, and it's also in the 30-day range, not the daily.
If you touched an e-cigarette once in the last year, you are considered a current user. Is that how that works?
Well, if you've seen it on TV and the Truth Initiative ads, you've also been exposed to it. So yes.
Okay. 27.5%. Oh. So now we had a cartoon character use a vape pen. So that's 3.
Who's marketing to fucking children? What?
That's actually not a kid's cartoon, no.
Yeah, well.
And the 2020 analysis showed that pervasive smoking on TV and streaming platforms continues in a majority of shows most popular with youth.
So we talked about this with Kirsten.
Exposing tobacco to more than 27 million young people.
Well, it's 8,000 a day. Do your math.
Okay. Math is not my strong suit.
You do know also that in there she is. What's her name?
Okay, now this guy is definitely not a high school kid.
He's more of a Paul. He looks like Paul.
This guy looks like he's 25 or 30 years old.
Well, Paul's bald.
Okay.
Oh my God, they're vaping.
None of these people in this video that are in this scene, none of these people look to be minors.
And red Solo cups are not a good sign.
This does not look like kids.
No.
That doesn't look like a teenager. Now that looks like a teenager, maybe. Those kids are teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Vaping depictions are on the rise.
Uh-huh.
Making e-cigarettes look cool and sexy.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. Okay, I'm going to go back here real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some generalizations about some of these videos. Okay. So this dude, the first dude, that dude does not look sexy. Any women in the room or guys that like other, tell me, does this guy look sexy to you guys? So then we're going to go to the next scene. Okay. So I can't tell, this dude's got his face covered by a giant Solo cup. This girl looks okay. She looks kind of attractive. Well, this girl looks like she's got RBF, so I don't know that she could be considered sexy. All right, this girl, well, in profile, she's not really sexy. Her chin, I'm sorry, this is awful. I probably need to step past this.
Oh my God, it's not just cigarettes.
It's a girl with a bare midriff that looks like she's 12. That's definitely not sexy.
Mm-mm.
And she's vaping, but that doesn't make her sexy either. And neither of those children,
they're skateboarding, of course,
are sexy. And that cartoon old man giving that child the googly eyes there, that's definitely not sexy. And so it says vaping depictions are on the rise, making e-cigarettes look cool and euphoria and sexy. 67 incidents of e-cigarettes in 8 episodes of popular shows. So, I know for a fact, like shows like South Park, The Simpsons did one. The Family Guy episode was Stewie, the one that you were that you said about. All of those did like content specific to vaping being bad, like kids shouldn't be vaping. So those 3 episodes that they showed clips from are all like supposed to be like moral lessons. Like every one of those shows were teaching the characters that were the kids specifically on those shows that were vaping, that vaping is bad and they shouldn't do it. So they're using those examples of those like after school special episodes. You always heard, well, next on Blossom, a very special episode of Blossom where Blossom does something she's not supposed to do. They're counting those educational moments,
including theirs,
as like marketing and those specific, the content of those things. So now they're showing, this is Stranger Things. This is like a chubby cop smoking a cigarette on Stranger Things. So they're saying that because people watch shows where people smoke, and that show takes place in like the 80s, I think. And lots of people smoked in the 80s.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead's about zombies. That's about the end of the world. I don't think people are caring anymore.
Speaking of the 80s, kids are.
Oh, another show called The End of the Fucking World.
Well, that's a good kid show.
I mean, people are. Really? That's the name of the fucking show. The End of the Fucking World. If you're a parent and you're letting your kid watch a show called The End of the Fucking World, and I'm not making that up, then maybe you need to like step up and like put some parental controls on your Netflix account.
Yeah. And just for the record, in the 80s and the 90s, I know in the 80s, smoking rates for high schools were in the 20s.
Well, I went to school. I went to high school in the 80s, and I was like, literally, there was a smoking section for us.
Yes.
But yes, a lot of those shows that Bill pointed out, a lot of those shows are period shows that take place during specific historical periods.
Right.
73% of the 15 most popular programs with people from the 15 to 24 demographic is what they're saying. Feature characters who smoke or depict tobacco products. I don't even know what show that is, but it's a guy with a mullet. So it's all Shameless. Now, I'm sorry. I watched this show. This is not a fucking show that you should be letting your kids watch.
Yes, it is.
This is not a show you should be letting your kids watch because there's a lot of content on there that is not appropriate for kids. So if they're saying Shameless is popular from the 15 to 24 years olds, I believe that show is actually NC-17. I think it's like a mature show. Black Mirror. Now Black Mirror is like the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Fuller House. I don't know. That's
no
the
idea.
Middle. That's Norm Macdonald, but I've never watched that show. The Simpsons. Tobacco, and obviously the people that. This is the thing about a lot of these shows. The characters that smoke on these shows are usually the bad guys.
Right. Of course. Smokers are bad guys.
Tobacco depictions nearly doubled in TVG and T. Now, I thought you couldn't get a G rating if somebody was smoking in your show.
I do not know.
Sure. So anyway. Here.
Well,
now, if you let your kids watch Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Here, let me grab this cursor again. Let's pull this back.
Who got a cigarette there? Anyone got a cigarette at the bar?
Yeah, if you're letting your kids watch Dave Chappelle, that's definitely not a kid's show.
Right.
Smoking drives youth vaping. So smoking images drive youth vaping use. How? I could understand if they're saying that kids are so stupid that they're going to see somebody smoke on TV and then they're going to smoke because that's a 1-to-1. But now they're saying that kids are watching people smoke cigarettes on TV and they're going to go vaping. How do you draw that line? How do you draw that correlation? We must change the picture. Truth Initiative. The Lie Initiative.
So they take their money and they target this to what looks like adults, allegedly, but they're doing exactly what they're bitching about.
Yeah.
Those images are the images they're bitching about, and they're showing the images.
Let's be perfectly clear here. Let's be perfectly clear. Now, those public health corporations are funded, supported, and beloved by all of those Hollywood, I'm going to say a word and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, liberals. All those TV programs, every one of them are made in Hollywood by Hollywood liberal types.
Right.
So are we saying that Truth are calling out the people that write big donation checks to them every year? No. Or did they say, hey, you know what? We really need some ammunition.
Meat. We need meat.
So could you show some characters smoking cigarettes so that we can do a study next year that says that because you put all those shows on that smoking is on the rise or that vaping is on the rise? Let's do that. Yeah, that vaping is on the rise and we need to go after vaping. I mean, literally these people are in each other's pocketbooks.
So if you have the ability to teach a child, as an example, something that came on, I'm pretty sure it was on Twitter. Bill might remember this. Ed might remember it as well. A while back, they were talking about imagery. And for some reason, I remember somebody saying, and it slips my mind who, that they wanted to erase Churchill smoking a cigar in a film. And I can't remember exactly what was going on, but they want to, you remember it?
I don't remember that particular thing, but I also remember a story that I talked about on the show a while back where Chicago Public Schools had reached out to the Department of Education, or the Department of Education reached out to the state and said, we want permission not to teach history in school anymore until we can develop a curriculum that we're satisfied with, removing all of the truth, removing the history. Like basically, so yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch of stories recently of them wanting to amend history to cover up or to not cover things that they should cover and gloss over things that they don't want to talk about.
It isn't an ambiance thing. I don't see Churchill smoking a cigar specifically because he wanted to make kids smoke cigars. That's who he was. No, that's what he did.
I do want to talk to Skip real quick, though.
Uh-oh. What's the matter?
Because Skip says earlier, she said, because I went negative, that she wanted the $50 back. Now she says, you can keep the $50 because I really hate those fucking truth guys. You didn't give me $50. You gave it to Kasa.
Julie's going to be very confused. Or somebody is.
If you want to give me $50 to hold.
She's so cranky.
I'll give it back to you, but you didn't give me any money to,
Oh.
Just saying. I'm just saying, cranky old lady.
Broad. I have full permission to say cranky old broad.
I can say cranky.
I can't say broad.
I can force myself to say old. I can't say broad.
But you just did.
Not to Skip. I can say the word. I just can't say it in relation to Skip.
Oh, I do. I ain't scared.
I would just raise different. You're one of those damn Yankees. You can insult women. I was taught never to do that.
Please send all letters to
Kevin.
So if you're going to manipulate history, people smoked. If it goes away, what will you have left?
A Disneyized version of the world.
There you go.
I mean, literally. Okay, so when I was a kid, this is somebody. I already can tell somebody's going to start typing the word boomer in a minute. But when I was a kid, they taught us in school that the world was not a nice place.
Right.
Like you had to work hard, that there was going to be people that said no, that, there were going to be people that were going to argue with you, that weren't going to say things that were nice to you, that pushed you to excel and to think. And you were taught to, we had a debate club where we were encouraged to argue with each other.
What? Bill's got the link. Bill found it.
I was actually on the debate team. So yes. Like they encouraged us to argue with each other and to do so in a planned out way. Like this is how you formulate an argument. This is how you defend your argument or your position. This is, they don't teach kids that now. Now they want to redo history.
They want to water it down.
Make everything like candy and happy and everybody's going to say yes and nobody's going to say no and nobody's going to hurt poor little Tommy's feelings and everything's going to be fine and everybody's special.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not how the world works.
You get a trophy. You get a trophy.
You didn't even show up, but you get a trophy.
Oh my God.
I am not going to fucking go off on the participation awards. I'm just not doing that shit.
If you're going to erase history, what was your purpose? Right?
Well, if you don't teach history, all the failures, all the struggles, all those things get erased and you learn nothing. See, the whole point is you learn from history so that you don't repeat it.
Yeah.
So if you don't learn history, you don't learn from the mistakes of the past. You repeat all of the fucking mistakes from the past.
Right.
So we have to be aware of the history, be aware of where the mistakes were, so that we don't step in those fucking potholes, so that we know where they are and we can learn how to navigate around them. Obstacles are not meant to be ignored. Mountains are supposed to be fucking climbed.
Mm-hmm. So you can put the flag up on the top, of course.
So that you can achieve something, so that you can be something. If everything is meant to be easy, if everything is meant to, now my voice is getting, I can tell. If everything's meant to be easy, everybody comes out a fucking pussy. I'm sorry.
Yep.
We're going to have an entire fucking generation of whiny little bitches. And I'm sorry, America is not meant to be populated by whiny little bitches.
No.
This country was founded by men and women who did not want to lay down and be stepped on.
Correct.
These are people that fucking said, you know what? If you're going to make rules for us, we want a voice. We want to participate in our legislation. We don't want to have a king over there on the other side of the ocean tell us what to do. No. So you know what? Fuck you. We're gonna kick your ass. We're gonna kick you off of our country, and we're gonna be our own men. We're gonna stand up on our own 2 feet. No, we don't want that anymore. Everybody wants to be coddled. Everybody wants to be hugged, and everybody wants to feel like they're special. Well, I'll tell you what. Everyone is individually. Everybody is different, but that doesn't mean you're special. No. That doesn't mean that you're better than anybody. If you want to be better, you have to fucking work for it. You have to earn it. You have to fucking strive and achieve. If there's a kid in your class that's smarter than you, he deserves that better grade than you. They shouldn't do this thing where, oh, well, everybody gets the same grade. Everybody, no, we don't want to embarrass poor little Jimmy because he didn't study as hard as everybody else.
Right. So in according to this, you can never show. I'll just go to Obama smoked. So you can't show him smoking, which they really took a lot of care in not doing.
No, because the media did not want him to look bad.
Right.
So whether you loved him or not, whether you like Trump or not,
right, doesn't matter.
They did coddle Obama. They treated him special.
Yeah. So
and they did everything possible to make him look good.
All I'm going to say about Clinton is Clinton smoked cigars. I'm not going any further than that. So that's history. Are you going to erase history? How can you erase Churchill? And if you guys check the link that Bill put in there, thank you, Bill. They want to erase history. So they want to erase your former smoking habit or whatever you want to use the word for, addiction, whatever. So it's bad and it's evil.
That's the way I look at it is every depiction of somebody vaping on TV should be applauded because every one of those characters is going through a struggle. It adds another layer of nuance. They're recovering from nicotine dependence.
This is like a very quiet stigma.
So, we already talked about how they fucking sent all the smokers to the curb, right?
Mm-hmm. All the way to the curb.
And then they said, oh, well, what you're doing looks just like what they're doing. So you need to go to fucking curb too. Mm-hmm. We know we really know that that's safer than smoking, but it looks like smoking. We don't want to be around it. And since you're an addict, we
evil
don't
bastard addict.
We don't like you because that nicotine is dirty.
That's right. And nicotine is clear. It's not nicotine stains.
So
it's tobacco, not nicotine.
Nicotine is evil.
Pisses me off.
It's the devil. That nicotine, that's the monkey on my back. It's the monkey on your back. So Bill says Obama admitted that he had a previous smoking habit and it was really hard to get off of smoking. He also admitted doing heroin. That doesn't make him any better or worse.
I'm just saying the guy was a public figure and he smoked. And
the media did everything possible to make sure that the cameras were turned off when he was walking on the porch at the White House with a cigarette in his hand.
In fact, when he stopped smoking, he was using the Patra gum, I forget, and I've got a meme somewhere or a meme, whatever you call it, and it says he's on the Patra gum and it says he's nicotine free. Or what? So,
But like I said, love him or hate him. If Donald Trump, no, I'm talking about Trump now. Love him or hate him. If Donald Trump if they got video of Donald Trump walking on the White House porch with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth or a cigar hanging out of his mouth,
just flipping a butt, yeah.
Oh my God, the news cycle would go fucking crazy.
Of course.
Now, I've made no secret that I don't really like Donald Trump, but I do feel that he has been like since even before he was inaugurated, like they were already talking about impeachment.
He's an outsider.
I mean, literally, I don't like him. I hate him. I'm not a big fan, but I can actually see from the outside the amount of targeting that they have done on him and no president has ever been beloved so much that they haven't been targeted, but he's been targeted 100 times more than any other fucking president in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not Jimmy Carter.
Well,
because he was towards the end of his presidency, he was mud. And I will say that I respect Jimmy Carter.
Well, I know you're not old enough to remember Carter as an adult brain because you got to be 25.
I remember Carter.
But you're not old enough to remember the whole thing.
Well, not the whole thing, but I remember.
So you've read your history, haven't you?
I remember them demeaning him through the media and calling him inept and making all. But he was not I mean, he should never have been president. He was a smart man, intelligent man. He's a fucking nuclear scientist, for God's sake. Yeah. He's not a dummy.
No.
But he wasn't Washington savvy either.
Right.
But yeah.
He didn't inhale, Skip. Oh, Tom.
So yeah, I mean that I feel better now. You made me go there. You made me go there.
Who's riling who up?
You made me say curse words for a minute. Normally I'm riling you up, but
it's all right.
Normally I get the ginger going, but so where'd that go? I had it open here. Where's my screens? I got tons of screens going over here.
And as a footnote to the truth, fucking retards. In 1970, I believe Nixon passed the "you can't advertise on TV, no smoking." The Marlboro Man went away. You couldn't do that anymore.
Well,
so
in
FCC and all that good stuff. So
he was still able to be in print. He just wasn't allowed to be in.
Right.
I remember magazine spreads and stuff on. My mom used to smoke Virginia Slims, and you've come a long way, baby.
Yep.
But anyway, Vita News did this really cool video, and we're going to show a little bit of it because it's 15 minutes long, and one of the stars of the video is in the chat room. So, if you're not already, and we've talked about Vita multiple times. I've reached out to Vita to get what's his name? I've already forgotten his name. The host to come on and talk to us, but they've never responded. I sent him an email. I reached out to Aaron Biebert because Aaron knew them and he gave me the email address and everything. They never responded to me. Kind of hurt my feelings. Maybe it's because it feels like we're competing. I don't think that we compete at all.
By the way, that's what feelings are for, Patrick.
I know.
It's for your heart. I know.
But yeah, let's show a little bit of this video. There is the lovely, young, not cranky lady.
On his 18th birthday.
Really?
To quit smoking. He'd already been smoking for a couple years. Just found out that his girlfriend was pregnant and he wanted to quit smoking and be a good dad.
This is Skip Murray. Much like Ron and Deanna, Skip saw the power of these products herself, and so she opened a store in northern Minnesota with her son. But if you were to estimate how many people that you think, since your shop has been open, that you've helped completely stop smoking combustible tobacco, do you have any idea what that number would be?
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
So Skip has saved 1,000 lives.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be just about every day you help somebody quit smoking. It's really sad now because you're lucky if there's one a month.
Why is that?
Because people no longer believe that vaping is safer than smoking. There's been so much negative publicity, a lot of misinformation, and it's scaring people away from trying it. So they believe they might as well just keep smoking.
And Skip is right. The campaigns warning against these so-called dangers
Dom. His name is Dom.
Yep.
I reached out to him.
of these products have grown louder and more frequent. Just last year in the United States, we saw how the CDC and the FDA linked the EVOLI crisis to vaping, even though it has been proven that those lung injuries actually came as a result of something added to black market cannabis.
Which we talked about before it actually happened.
Long before.
Just want everybody to know.
E-liquids. But as you know, once a story gets legs, well, it's pretty hard to stop it. And those fears, unfounded as they may be, led to more intense scrutiny. And after scrutiny came more intense regulation.
Flavor bans, clean indoor air, tax, you name it, they were bringing it at us.
One of the justification for the regulations, claiming that these products are exactly like tobacco products and therefore should be regulated the same way. However, the owners of these shops, well, they don't agree with that classification.
This is something that gets people away from.
And this is Miss Deanna Marshall for everybody.
Yes.
Deanna has been around a long fucking time. She's been fighting a long fucking time. If you're not friends with her, you should reach out. If you're not following her on Twitter, if she's on Twitter, fucking do that. She's awesome.
From tobacco.
Yeah.
Call it our enemy if you want to. This is what we were doing.
I don't believe these products should have been classified tobacco. There's no tobacco in them. Yes, there's nicotine. And nicotine is in things other than tobacco. I think they should have gotten their own classification. They're a consumer.
Now, according to that dude that we talked about earlier, nicotine is only in tobacco. So Deanna and Skip are already smarter than college professors.
Consumer product. They were invented by somebody who smokes to help people quit smoking. And we're not even allowed to say that because that's a medical claim, but it is. It's the consumer's solution to the tobacco problem.
But unfortunately, the label of a tobacco product has stuck. And with that came immense regulation from the FDA. You see, the FDA has this thing that they call the PMTA, or the Pre-Market Tobacco Application. Now, this was originally intended to help the FDA stop new tobacco products, or at least get a closer look at them before they hit the shelves.
No, it's about control. It is only about control.
Correct.
They know, like they've got, I'm gonna unshare this. They know where these products are made.
Mm-hmm.
They know where they are because you've registered your manufacturing facility. Many people have already said that FDA's been out and inspected their facility and found nothing to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
So they already know this is only about control.
Correct.
We want to tell you what you can make, how you can make it, and where you can sell it. That's all that is. I mean, it's about we want control of everything. Hey, Mark's List. And that's literally all it's about. I mean, you've given the government the power. They have the power now to make every decision that you have given them that power for. So they control what you put in your body as far as food, and I totally believe there should be some standards for food. I'm not saying that, FDA's done a horrible job making sure that the food supply is not tainted, because we need a safe food supply.
We need standards.
We also, obviously, we already know the F is food.
Mm-hmm.
D is drug.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We already know they fuck up that all the time, because if you watch TV for any length of time, you're going to see 5 or 10 or 15 commercials a day, or even in a couple hours, of drugs that they've approved.
Mm-hmm.
And then you listen at the very end where the guy talks really fast like this, but if you take this drug and you have vomiting or anal leakage, call the doctor immediately. They put all that shit in because, the drug's not perfect. It might help your heart, but then it's gonna box your kidneys. So then you have to take another drug to prevent it from boxing your kidneys. Or it causes liver damage, or this drug, if you yawn, it might make you have an orgasm. There's actually a drug that does that.
Your orgasm. And I was going to repeat your word. I don't remember the name brand. I think it was Tagamet. Heartburn medicine now causes cancer, so they've pulled that off. Whatever the brand was, I forget.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
but it's been on the fucking market for 10 years, 15
I told
years.
the story. I believe I've told a story on the show. When my wife and I were getting married, she had a skin condition. She went to the dermatologist, and nothing worked. And then he said, "Well, there's a pill that you can take. It's called Accutane." Now, if you do a search on Accutane, 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 do a search for it and look the number of side effects, and most of them. There's a list of pretty common side effects, and then those are bad. Like there's a bunch of bad ones in there, and then you get to the potential side effects and neurodegenerative disease, strokes. It's horrible. And then the number 100% of the time, if you get pregnant while you are taking this pill, there is a 100% chance that your child will be born with a defect.
But that's approved, right?
It's approved
And encouraged.
And when you take this, it's a black box warning. This is like there are plenty of pills out there. Like obviously Chantix was one where it was suggested that they put a black box warning on there by scientists and doctors, and FDA was going to put the black box warning on there. And then the makers of Chantix petitioned to FDA to not put the black box warning on Chantix.
It was removed.
And it was removed. So a pill that we know that has caused, I think 1,200 suicides.
It's too many.
One is too fucking many.
Way too fucking many.
Which deserves the black box warning. The company that makes it, the company that makes it can petition FDA, and FDA has the authority to remove it. If enough doctors, if enough scientists go to the FDA and say, no, this drug needs a fucking black box warning, the people that make the drug should never be allowed to petition to remove the warning.
And just so everybody knows, the FDA approved, I think it's 12 to 17-year-olds. I can get that link pretty quick, to use Chantix, and it didn't work.
It didn't work for me. It made me very angry and made me want to smoke more.
Underage kids,
and they knew angry.
They knew the fucking side effects. It's crazy. So I'm gonna find that in a second. And kudos and commendation to Skip and Deanna and Ron.
No, well, I really, we've been very supportive of VITA in the past, and I think that they're doing. I mean, they put together way better looking content than what we do.
Well, yeah.
And they, their video on the Central and South America, Mexico, Central and South America vaping advocacy stuff is amazing stuff. I mean, we find it a long time, or we find it quite frequently that people in America only are worried about America, which that's where we live. We should be worried about America, but we should also be aware of what's going on around the world. That's why we've had Paul on the show. That's why we had a guy in Scotland doing a show. Fergus Mason used to do a show on Smoke Free Radio. I welcome any international contribution. If somebody out there in the world wants to do a show on Smoke Free Radio from anywhere in the world, I would love to be able to host an Indian show on Smoke Free Radio. Like, let the Indian advocates, give them a place to speak. The people in the Philippines, which they've had a recent positive development. My wife is from the Philippines. I have a place in the Philippines that I plan on going to. If I have to flee the country, I have a place to go to in the Philippines, which might happen pretty damn quick, to tell you the truth. We should be able to do that. I mean, Tom is in New Zealand. Paul is in Australia. Paul could do a fucking show. Tom could do a show. Bruni could co-host a show. I don't know.
Yeah, of course he could.
Bruni could be you.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'd be the Bruni show.
I would love to be able to offer a place for advocates all over the world. If there was people in Central and South America that wanted to do a show, I don't care what language they do the show. I won't understand what they're saying, but I will give them the fucking place to do it. I am ready. We need to have more content 24/7 on this fucking page.
Yep.
Showing people that vaping and vapors are standing together all over the world. We should have World Vape Day every fucking week. That's what we need. Because we got to support each other. We got to make sure that every smoker in the world has access to this technology.
Yep.
And you'll notice if you go to my Twitter and you look at my tweets recently, I have been making sure that in every tweet that I refer to vape or vaping, that I'm using the word technology. And I think that we should do that. We should make a conscious effort to make sure that we're using that word, because this is a tech product. This is people think of technology. They think of innovation, right? The kind of technology and innovation should always be together. And these rules that we have here in the States have prevented, or legally should, have, obviously there's been innovation because there's new stuff coming out, but
it's not
the law should not prevent technology and innovation.
No, never.
So we're gonna fly the pirate flag. We're gonna. If anybody has friends in other countries, share this fucking stream. Let them know that they have a place. If they have a computer and internet and a camera and a microphone, I will give them a place to broadcast their shit. Because I'm tired of it. There's a glut of information from America, but there are a few opportunities for people in other places to get, and we have a lot of followers on this page. So we should be offering more places for people to get their stories out, to get the word out about what's happening where they are. Yolanda could do a show. She's smart.
She's way smarter than you and me.
Well, yeah. We're just a bunch of dudes. Like she's educated. Oh, no, I'm educated too, but just not in this, not in harm reduction. I work on them after they're already dead.
Stop it. Yeah.
But yes, if you're not already following Vida, you got to go to YouTube. You got to go to their Facebook page and follow them.
Vida News.
VIDA.
I threw them in the chat for their Twitter. Not fun.
I'm trying to find the scrolly thing. There, I found the scrolly thing. So, Dom starts off the show. I want to play that beginning part because there's a reason why. And I didn't know this. There's a reason why that Vida is so focused on harm reduction.
I'm pretty fired up to talk about tobacco harm reduction because tobacco itself has impacted my entire life. Like most of you, I have family members that smoke. Growing up, I remember everybody around me smoking. Some of those people quit. Some of them tried, and some of them didn't. And unfortunately, because of the death and disease associated with smoking cigarettes, they're no longer with us. So this entire thing is pretty personal to me.
So yeah, just that little bit, knowing that he's got skin in the game, kind of is important, and that's one of the reasons why they're so passionately traveling all over the world, making content.
Vida.news. Thank you, Skip.
Yes, that's their Twitter. So definitely follow them on Twitter. Follow them on their YouTube page. Follow them on Facebook, and like them, share them. Retweet them, do all the things that, because we need to promote. We need to promote like people doing shit good. You know, I'm seeing a lot of people making comments in the chat room about different, Yolanda says that, that's the wrong one. Yolanda says that Samrat Chowdhury in India would be a good, person to do a show from India. I don't know all these people. I'm going to say that name wrong. Adabisi Yusuf Adebayo.
Okay.
Nigeria. That's actually pretty close. Adabisi Yusuf Adebayo in Nigeria. Yeah.
Mark says Amelia Howard and Kelly.
Amelia Howard. I mean, I know I can say that name correctly. Paul says that he's got people in Norway, England, Germany, France, Italy, and Poland. Yeah. We already know one Portuguese guy, but he's got his own YouTube channel. So Daniel's got a show already, so I don't need to give him a show. Kellyanne and Amelia Howard.
I know some people from the
All
UK.
the people that you guys know, you text them and tell them, you know what Patrick said on the show. He'll give you guys a fucking show if you reach out to Patrick. I don't know these people. I'm offering. But yeah, it's if the invitation is there, right. Just send them this video. Go to YouTube and timestamp this part of the invitation and send it to them with the starting point. You can do that on YouTube. They may not want to hear all the other bullshit that we're doing. Hi, Pippa. Pippa could do a fucking show from New Zealand.
Oh. I think she was on the Turkey guy, whatever his name was. I think I saw her in there too.
Yeah. I mean, Tom and Pippa could get together and Yolanda, we could have a whole bunch of Kiwis. We could do an Aussie show and they could fight each other. I don't know. I mean,
is that a thing?
Apparently, because Tom got livid a while ago when I said that Australia and New Zealand were close.
I don't know what his name is, Pippa. It's some kind of turkey neck prick. That's all I can think.
Oh, Pip is an Aussie. See now when I say it's hard. It's it's easy to confuse those two because they're close. Tom's gonna come back in here and say "fuck you, man."
Now you want to rile Tom up again. So let me ask you, Patrick. You're in care and custody of the Smoke Free Radio, right? Show.
I am prime and only god of Smoke Free Radio.
Have you submitted your PMTA for your programmable software yet?
I don't have any programmable software.
Well, sure you do. You got a show, right?
It's not programmable.
Can you change it?
It's multi-use.
Multi-use. All right. So that's an exception.
Yeah.
You got a waiver then.
Apparently.
Like, blogs and shows like this, I'm assuming are programmable software.
I'm wondering though. I'm wondering if at some point they may make all like vape media register.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have to register.
That's where I'm going.
And I'm in so many fucking platforms. I don't even remember all the different places this show goes now. Oh. Speaking of places that we go, I got an email from a new platform that said, would you like to make mini Smoke Free Radio or mini Son of Liberty Radio?
Mini.
And I was like, okay. So I started looking, and this is a podcast platform, but they do like podcast bursts of like 10-minute little 10-minute shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no fucking way I could do a 10-minute fucking show. 10-minute show? Really? You expect me to like trim down to well, we're at 2 hours and 30 seconds now. 2 hours of content. But I guess I could take like this cutscene section and make that 1 10-minute show, and then this cutscene section one. I did think it was funny. I was like, well, I'm sure if I said to somebody, hey, if you want to do a news briefs version of Smoke Free Radio, we could make it happen. But
Yep.
You know, grumpy old lady. cranky old lady. I already moved out of that window. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
And Deanna's husband is just as loud, and he's running for, Skip will tell us in the chat, Senate, Congress? I can't remember. She also is very, very apt at Freedom of Information Acts.
Who, Deanna?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually know what comment that she's talking about. And you remember 2 weeks ago when I said that the PMTA process is essentially, and I specifically said, Juul submitted their PMTA $20 million. They spent $20 million basically saying to the FDA, please let me save people's lives. Avail AES spent $15 million.
Yeah.
They said, we just spent $15 million. Please give me permission to save people's lives.
Right.
Avail Vapor, whatever you think about Avail Vapor and RJ Reynolds and these companies spent $10 million and said, please, I spent $10 million just so that I can save people's lives. I can't vape Charlie's chalk dust, but they spent $5 million just to beg FDA for permission to save people's lives. So that is very similar to what Deanna is saying right here.
We fight to help people get on something that's better than smoking. Why should we fight to help people get on something that's better than smoking? It shouldn't be a fight.
Yeah. You're basically spending your life savings. Some of these small mom and pop businesses spending their fucking life savings, begging permission to save people's lives.
Yeah.
Literally. The government actually pays firemen to save people's lives.
Yes.
They pay policemen. Some policemen save people's lives. Some policemen shoot people. But by and large, policemen save people's lives.
Firemen, policemen,
soldiers. We have the biggest standing military in the world, whose whole mission is to protect people's lives, is to save people's lives. They get paid, but these people have to pay for the privilege of saving people's lives.
And they're guilty until proven innocent. You're guilty.
Yeah. I mean, the burden of evidence in every court proceeding in the world or in America is that you're innocent until proven guilty. So these products should be given that same care, that same ability to that they are innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
But no, these products are guilty, and you have to prove that they're innocent.
Guilty since 2000.
Shouldn't the government be the ones that have to prove that these products are not safe?
Well, what they were doing was they were trying to get the Truth Initiative and the Tobacco Free Kids bastards to do that for them. And they've run out of ideas, so they're making shit up now. And still, you'll have to pay.
So, on a side note, Kevin, this apple tobacco
that you made yourself?
That I made myself?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I've watched myself. I've watched my wife. I think Charles put something, Charles Gardner, if you haven't followed him, do so, Smoke Free World.
Pippa, we're on Periscope, obviously. We're on Facebook, on the Smoke Free Radio page on Facebook. We're on the Son of Liberty Space Radio YouTube page, which no one actually follows. The audio podcast is on. Holy shit! It's on Spreaker, iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify,
anywhere we can get to.
Literally 15 or 20 other podcast platforms, and another one that I'm still not allowed to announce yet. And really, guys, I would really appreciate it. I'm just saying this. I would really appreciate it if you go to the audio show on Spreaker and listen to 5 minutes of it. Just
while you're
turn it on and walk away for a few minutes.
Because you don't want to hear us anyway.
I mean, you've already seen it, but that's one of the things that gets tracked a lot is the number of audio listens once the podcast is posted, which an hour after we're done with the video show, it will be up on the podcast thing and I will tweet it. But yeah, I spent a lot of money to get, because the audio is always the most important to me, because I listen to podcasts.
I don't really care about your audio.
The podcast numbers have dropped dramatically from when we went from audio to video.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to justify paying that money because that's just my thing. So please go to the Spreaker page and listen. And an hour after or tomorrow, just turn it on while we're live streaming. I'm going to be live streaming the rally tomorrow. Hopefully, there's a couple decent versions of it on Facebook that I can steal from and post it up here so that people can see it. Because we're going to be sharing it. We're going to be putting it up on Periscope for the Twitters. And then we'll obviously be able to watch it on all of our other platforms as well. Because I think this is going to be a history-making thing, and I want a lot of people to hear about it and see it. The ones that aren't there, obviously, should be sharing.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag PMTA reform.
Sharing the streams on Twitter. If you're a Twitterer, you should be tweeting shit about PMTA reform.
We vape, we vote.
Yeah, we need to get that.
We the people.
Yeah, Bill, there is no official Smoke Free Radio YouTube page. It's the Son of Liberty Radio YouTube page because Demetrius used to put it on his YouTube page when he did it, here, but there is no YouTube page for Smoke Free Radio. So, anywho. I'm trying to read comments here. So yeah, I mean, we need to be crazy here. We need to be as loud tomorrow as possible. There's going to be, a couple thousand, vapors standing on the White House lawn, holding up signs. There's going to be a bunch of great speakers. I know that Demetrius and Phil are going to be talking. Robin Barsky, my sister from the Vaping Militia, apparently is going to be speaking. Kevin, who else is speaking tomorrow? I mean, obviously Sherwin and James and Nick probably are all speaking.
James, I'm not sure of Nick. I'm not positive if Matt's going to or not. There were quite a few more than that, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paul Blair was there last. I think it was Paul Blair. Was it Paul Blair that was there?
I know that Michelle Minton is not going to be there.
No.
Dude, I really hate the new layout of Facebook.
Me too.
Bill sent some stuff. I already played that video, Bill.
Angering stuff. Ed said Paul Blair.
Yeah. Well, I think he lives in DC, so it's not like a.
And Paul Blamar is having a speech read on his behalf.
He told me that. So I don't know. Yeah. So people need to be aware. I already played that video. Bill sent me a link to the video, the doctor video that I already played with the balloon popping. He was late and didn't see it.
He was sleeping. Facebook sucks. Yes.
The new Facebook is like, I just don't like it. I'm so used to the way it used to be. I don't like it. It's driving me crazy.
Yep. So you're, what is it? Peach, apple, bourbon. What are you talking about a minute ago?
Apple bourbon tobacco.
So apple bourbon. So my wife has been buying basically one brand for a long time.
Of bourbon?
No, not a bourbon. Of peppermint or some kind of mint. So, and I've been using a specific tobacco. And then one little birdie talked to another little birdie. And then I got this. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. And now I've seen my wife go, I think I figured this out. I think she's up to 6 versions of what she wants. So I've been, she was spending money every month. So was I, to do it with a company, and we're doing it ourselves, and it's kind of fun. So what I said under Charles a few days ago was, it turns out I like more than one type of tobacco flavor, because I say we're fighting for flavors when I really personally don't use flavors. Now I do, but she always has. So
you've always used flavors. Everything that you vape is a flavor.
Yeah. But sticking to one tobacco flavor makes me special or different or whatever. So
I will not deny that you're a little special in the head for sure.
I laid that out for you. I'm amazed you didn't do better.
Well, it's because I'm multitasking.
All right, you multitask.
Bill is telling me. So Bill sent me this.
Yeah.
Since we're sharing a lot of video content today.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
Okay, so for one thing, they're saying that 4.5 million kids in America vape.
Wrong.
So if the total population of the United States of adult vapors is somewhere between 9 and 11 million vapors, so they're saying half as many kids as adults vape?
Well, sure, of course.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
The problem with this is that you're doing, I'm assuming ad council. I assume those guys were those the same people that your brain is on drugs and the egg. So
yes,
when you're skipping a generation, literally from the 80s to now, and you've got people who don't know history because it's being erased, and then you're watching something like this, that's bad. That's bad. Compared to what? They're not doing a lot of things. They're just making a very specific generalization. Because it's not my kid. My kid.
And obviously, if you think your kids are okay, so for one thing, lots of parents don't know exactly what the fuck their kids are doing. I'm not denying that.
90%.
My parents didn't know anything that I was doing. They would have been horrified, but they were also horrible children when they were children.
There you go.
So, yes, Paul, I got your message. So, of course, there's going to be kids or parent. My Jimmy's special. My Jimmy doesn't break the rules.
I don't believe you.
Of course. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this.
Oh, good Lord. What'd you do that for?
Because it just feels weird. I just wanted to see what it was like to be on this side of the screen.
All right.
Yes, of course. There's going to be parents that are in denial that their kids are normal. So it's normal for your children to experiment, to test the boundaries. That's what growing up is for. That is the whole point of becoming a complete human being is to experiment, to test the waters, to take risks, to do things. And obviously, if you don't allow your kids to do that, they're going to grow up fucked up.
And or become tobacco control experts.
These are going to be fucking serial killers and fucking just
they're going to be public health figures.
These are
That's what they're going to be.
Well, there's quite a lot of serial killing going on in the public health world.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it feels weird being over on this side of the screen. I might finish the whole show just being over on the wrong side.
Well, we are on the wrong side according to everybody. Fuck them.
It does feel strange.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to break a rule. Normally, this is the rule. I don't bring in a guest or somebody else that's that wasn't scheduled.
Okay.
But since it's my brother from down under.
Oh, it's not Jerry then. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I will allow this one time only. Because we don't have anything else to talk about, so I figure I'll let this happen.
Look at Mark's comment. It's how humans learn from the moment they gain control of their hands as infants and shove everything in their mouths to learn about them. Exactly.
I didn't do that.
Bullshit. My grandson. You guys have seen my grandson grab this thing and
put it in his mouth. I've seen him put it in his mouth.
Well, the first thing he does is he looks at me and says, "See what I did?" Because he wants acknowledgement. And the second thing he does is put it in his fucking mouth. Kevin left. Good for you,
Bill. Well, he is kind of a lefty.
Mark, make some noise tomorrow, please, please, please.
I literally want to hear the We Vape We Vote all the way down here in fucking Texas.
Yeah, I am in awe of everybody going. I was going to, and I made a decision not to, unfortunately. But I'm very confident in the group of people that are there are the badasses of these consumers and business both.
They definitely don't want me there.
Period.
So, for me, I would have gone. Literally, I would have gone. But this pandemic thing, we had a nurse who had incidental contact, even though she was wearing her PPE and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She had a runny nose.
Right.
So they sent her to get tested.
Mm-hmm.
She tested negative. They tested her 3 days later, tested her negative. They still made her take 2 weeks off of work.
My mother-in-law's nursing home has 2 deaths now. And Mark, on his Facebook, I think it might have been Twitter, he said he made some noise today. He recruited on the street. He also went into a vape shop, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, who did not know. I'm going to repeat this. He went into a vape shop that did not know in Washington, D.C. or thereabouts, Virginia, they did not know there was a rally. So underrepresented is one word I can use. So thank you for that.
Well, okay. There are plenty of vape businesses that are not on Facebook.
That don't know.
And I mean, obviously, where else are they going to find out about the vape rally other than on Twitter or Facebook or maybe Instagram?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if it's a mom and pop shop that doesn't fucking pay attention to social media, they may not know. I mean, I know.
I
mean, I can bitch at them if they don't know about the PMTA or if they don't know about legislative stuff. But if they don't know, if they don't know about the rally,
right.
It's difficult. It's difficult unless every fucking big dick wholesaler in the United States put a fucking flyer in every order. Then it would be hard. But anyway, here's the bald guy from down under.
He's got hair. What the hell? Do you steal that from a horse?
I've actually got a full head of hair, Kevin, so don't give a shit.
Well, You're Kevin. Lift up the front of your hat.
Oh, I got plenty of hair.
No, I know you have hat, but your hairline is more full than Paul's is.
This is great.
Okay. Yeah. Kevin and I got together beforehand and said that this was the Scruffy show.
Mm-hmm.
So neither one of us prettied up our facial hair today.
No, same.
What,
like normal for me.
Can you grow a beard?
Yeah, I can. That's not a problem.
Today's pick on Paul day.
Yeah, not a problem. We can do that.
That's why I have it.
We got to be dickheads.
I got to hide the ugly, Paul. Do it quickly.
Too funny.
What Paul was sending me fucking messages. He's like, "Oh, you send me an invitation before the end of the show."
What do you want, Paul?
What do you want, Paul?
Well, a speech was also passed on from Bruni to the people doing the UVA rally, so he might be heard tomorrow as well.
Nice.
Which is a good thing.
I think it would have been amazing had they been able to put a screen and solicit videos from people.
Well, there's still talk about that, whether or not they can or they can't.
Well, I mean, for example, like we did the virtual rally for Florida.
Yeah.
And there's a 22-minute video. We could have done, I mean, people could have submitted and they could have compiled, in between speakers or like during an intermission or whatever, they could slap shit up on screen, and still have somebody talking even if they're not there. It would have been pretty cool.
No, I'm actually hoping that they can get that done. They can actually work out the problems that they've got going on in the background to try and either get a screen or we can actually have an audio feed going directly into it.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know what the bandwidth is like there. So I mean, doing like a Zoom call might be difficult, but if they had a projector and a sound system that they could project like recorded videos, that would have been pretty cool, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Skip. Yeah. Look, I've been doing as much as I possibly can.
Skip thinks that you do something that I don't know about.
Well, that's true. But I've been trying to help with as much data as I possibly can. But again, a lot of it I can't actually share because of NDAs that I'm under. But I'm sorry, but I've been helping as much as I possibly can with data for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said a while ago, the big tobacco companies put in their PMTAs and they're 500,000 pages per. And, we're talking, we saw a tweet a while ago, was that 1,500 pages. There's a significant amount of difference. And if the tobacco companies are creating the standard for what is acceptable, everybody's fucked. If that's what FDA is going to do, if they're going to say, well, if they did it and it was this substantive, then you have to meet their burden of evidence. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I mean, I know that RJ Reynolds has a significant science staff. I know that Imperial and all of these fucking tobacco companies that are submitting PMTAs, they have dedicated scientific centers. It's not, and I just said the world's not fair just a little while ago, so I can't say it's not fair, but it's not fair.
The two key companies that have probably the biggest setups I've ever seen, and I've had virtual tours of both of them, would be PMI and BAT. PMI in the UK, and the $2.4 billion that they poured into their lab, their indoor grow rooms, everything, just to do the studies and do the breakdowns and the actual nicotine extraction process, all of it. So they got it so they could break down every single molecule. You're right. And there's certain people, I'm not going to mention names, and they're 100% right, that people should have looked outside the United States for testing and for the data. And the data is available, but you just got to know where to look and how to add it in. But doing all the concentrate testing and all the chemistry behind that, and for argument's sake, you have 5 concentrates in a flavor. You need then all the variables between 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 24. And then again, it all needs to be redone. If you go to salt, and if you've got variations of salts, it has to be done again, all along those pathways. It's a headache. It's a fucking nightmare. Sorry.
Well, I mean, Demetrius on his PMTA show, on the DP show, I keep referring to that show because it was a good show. I mean, it broke it down, and he put a fucking cost estimate. Like, he got an estimate from labs, and he put it up on the fucking screen for doing the HPHC testing, and then the price for doing the overtime, the stability testing.
Correct.
And obviously they can push that test. They can make it, they can do like a year and 6 months or whatever, but it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And
correct.
Having to do multiples for each product.
But here's the other thing. And I said this to a couple of people probably 6 to 12 months ago, that if you looked at TPD compliance for the actual concentrates and you actually went along those pathways, they've got all the nasties taken out of the concentrates that they use under TPD. A lot of the companies in the United States, the flavor houses I'm talking about, they're not handing over the data that's actually needed to go forward. And it's become very, very hard to actually get specific documentation from these companies because obviously, yes, they're helping other companies move forward, but the smaller players, they're not handing over what's needed. It's insane. It's, pardon me, it's absolute insanity. It really is.
Yeah, I threw in the link to that YouTube show that Demetrius and Phil did about the PMTA, just so that everybody can refer back to that if they need to, if they have questions. I mean, at least to understand what is known. You know, there's a lot we don't know. And then I obviously threw the Spreaker for the audio library for Smoke Free Radio, because y'all need to go follow that, because that's just a favor for me.
No, that's cool. But I can see some of the companies actually getting through with some of their more basic type flavors, but the really complex ones, no way in the world. Not unless they've got all the testing data. Like all the, having a flavor tested for mass spec or for the actual components or any nasties like diacetyl, acetylpropanol, things like that, that costs you money. If you got multiples in there that might contain these products, you thousands upon thousands of dollars per concentrate. That's where the problem is. Skip will back me up on this one, because some of the data is not available, is it, Skip? It's just not there. You either got to go under NDA with the actual flavor house for a start, or second, most of these flavors are actually registered with the FDA.
Yeah, they got CAS.
They've all been approved, and they've got CAS numbers.
Yeah, but you got to get a letter from the flavor manufacturer to get permission to refer to their
files
for your PMTA, and some of them are being dickish about it for sure.
Oh, they're not being dickish.
So
more than that.
I'm giving you money to buy your flavors, but you won't let me refer to your master file so that I can continue to buy flavors from your company to manufacture my product.
Correct.
It doesn't make any sense to me why anybody would balk at that. I mean, if I'm doing business, I want to do business. So yeah, I'll let you refer to my master file number for your product. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's stupid.
I'm starting to wonder, with a couple of the big flavor houses, whether or not they don't really care about the vaping industry at all. I'm not going to name names.
We already know. I've seen an email from a flavor supplier that refused to allow a vape company access to information because they said, we don't manufacture our flavors for that application. We don't support the use of our product in that application, and we're not going to give you the information that you're requesting.
Yeah,
because the product that they manufacture can be used for vaping, but they don't want you to use it for vaping.
Yeah, correct. It's not on the list for inhalation, and a lot of the flavors that I work with, that's what they're designed for. They've tested through that whole process, and it's not a problem. The data is available there, and the companies that I'm working with, they're more than happy to hand it over. I think I've handed over, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 pages so far.
Wow.
Just a flavor, just of SES documentation that I've got in my little file.
See, Skip, I don't think so. Here's the thing: if a flavor manufacturer specifically puts their shit in the master file, and then at some point later in the future, somebody gets sick off of vaping and tries to sue a vape company, I don't think your ingredient is going to be the target. I don't think that they're going to sue you for manufacturing a product or an ingredient for a product that harms you.
No.
Unless there's a way to track that the specific harm is based in that specific flavor. I don't think that that's going to happen.
Oh, there are ways. If you go down to the molecular level, you can trace it back to.
Well, no, I mean,
chemical.
But I don't think that that's going to be the target. I don't think that they're going to specifically target one product. I think they're going to specifically target the entire industry. If that happens.
Well, I hope there's a lot more people out there in the community around the world willing to hoist the pirate flag and help what's about to happen in the United States, because I'll tell you from an outsider, and I actually said it in my speech, if the United States is to fall or the PMTA process gets screwed up beyond recognition, the rest of the world will fall to a point. It will upset the whole apple cart. Yep. It was Mike Peterson that asked me when I was interviewed by him. He said, what would happen if a couple of the big states in the United States actually shut down for flavors or they banned flavors? I said, you'd have to look at two key states, first and foremost. Bada bing. Everything I said in that interview was 1-to-1. I said you would have to have New York fall, California fall, and then you would have to have a state within the center of the United States or the Midwest, either Mass or Ohio. If they fell, everything's in trouble. Mm-hmm. And what happened?
Those states fell. Several of those states fell.
Yeah, all three, actually. All three.
Ohio's still good so far.
No, Ohio's fine, right? You have Michigan and you have Michigan and you have Mass as well, right?
Michigan, Mass, Jersey, California, New York. Yep.
Correct. And he asked me, from an outsider looking in,
mm-hmm.
which are the key states?
Yep.
And we have now 8-10 on the table.
Mm-hmm.
In Florida, if Florida falls, and they're actually one of the biggest manufacturing states in the United States of liquids, believe it or not.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
And not a lot of people really think. Everyone thought it was all West Coast. It's not. There's a lot of East Coast business that is about to change instantly as of the 9th.
I was actually in a vape shop a few years ago. And a girl comes in to the vape shop and says to the person, behind the counter, "Do you have any liquids from California?" And the guy said, "No." And she said, "Oh, well, I only vape e-liquid from California," and walked out. But that was years ago. California used to be the center of the vape world.
Correct.
And, they were at a time, they were considered the mecca of vaping. And people had developed that sort of thing, that only the best stuff came from California, which is not true. But people thought that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I need to look like that.
So,
yeah, I actually had an idea the other day, and this is a really weird one. You know how they retire like naval ships?
They scuttle them, yes.
Not all of them, not the research ones.
Well, I mean, you can buy them, but typically the ones that are being retired beyond repair,
well,
they scuttle and make reefs out of them.
Yeah, okay, but I'm talking more along the lines of the research vessels that get retired after their lifetime at sea. What if we just gutted them, right? Get a couple of these, gut them,
sailed around the world,
and turn them into offshore labs.
Well, better yet, we could just buy a retired oil rig, because they're stationary. They're usually pretty well established, and sometimes they tilt or something, the old ones, but I mean, they're pretty stable, these oil platforms. And if you get one that's 12 miles offshore, you're in international waters, you could make a lab and hire a couple ships and just go all over. See, the problem is it's not illegal to manufacture.
Correct.
It's illegal to sell.
Yeah.
So, of course, American companies are going to manufacture product and export and stay alive. I mean, there's companies that have spent the last couple years developing an international distribution system.
Correct.
Which is not cost effective, to tell you the truth. I mean, making it here and shipping it across the world is, but obviously, if that employs people, they'll do that. Until something happens here that they can hopefully make enough money to defend their company until something happens and they're able to legally sell their product in the United States. And of course, we know, because if you watch Demetrius' show, he explains and shows you the law and the language in the law that says that it's not illegal for consumers in the United States to import nicotine products into the United States. So consumers will still be able to order shit from overseas. They're gonna be able to maybe even buy American-made product from an overseas supplier and pay to bring it back into the United States and send their American dollars outside of the country.
Well, that just sounds silly, Patrick. Why would we have to do that? Never mind. Wrong show.
Well, that's what Australia's been doing so far between Australia and New Zealand. Our nicotine laws.
Yeah.
So again, I'm sorry to the rest of the world. Obviously, they're looking at what we're doing over here. So
no, I think Australia is the 51st state in this situation, and we've been running, or Australia has been play testing or beta testing American laws.
They've been. You guys have been bootlegging
for years. we have been for years.
So what does all this do? I'm gonna make Mark Sliss pissed. I'm just gonna piss Mark Sliss off. So
I like Mark. Why are you going to piss him off?
Because I want him fired for tomorrow. I really want him.
Why not? Let's piss him off.
All right.
So all this does is destroy American jobs.
Correct.
That's one.
in the form of closing every vape shop in the United States, or 90% of the vape shops in the United States, because there'll be some that will carry avail stuff.
So you taking jobs
in prison. American dollars will be going overseas, helping those economies over there. You know, I'm fine with everybody prospering.
So jobs and dollars.
And obviously it's going to fuck the smokers over, who will never buy that impulse. That first vape purchase is always a fucking impulse.
Yep.
That's going to fuck them over, because that impulse is going to be gone, because they're not going to be in a place. Well, obviously convenience store products will still be there. Prism, I've been told is an avail product. I could be wrong, but I was told that it's an avail product that is sold in convenience stores. And the big tobacco companies will still be there. But when they try those products, and say those products work for 50% of the people that try them, the other 50% are going to go back to smoking.
Correct.
There will be no innovation in the technology field. Because I said a while ago, this is a fucking technology product, and technology and innovation go hand in hand. That's dead. And those of us that are vapors will find the website overseas and order product. We will find people like you and me who are willing to mix product and just put it in a box and send it to somebody so that they don't smoke. So vapors will still vape.
Correct.
Smokers are fucked. Mom and pop small businesses are fucked.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be helping out our overseas vape shops and online retailers, because consumers will still be able to buy those products.
So you're telling us innovation, first of all, which we're not manufacturing in America, but innovation regardless. Jobs, money, and choice for smokers. So you got jobs and money that are a choice for somebody like Mark and Skip and all the others in there to create an income, create a life, to help other people. And you can't use any innovation, because that's gone too. And they can't have a business to help people choose to stop smoking if they want to.
Correct. And I'll
pretty
be
fucking heavy.
I'm talking from a development side now. I've lost my development contracts, all of them. They're gone because of the companies that I were working with and helping in the United States. Now, I can tell you 5 flavors that, you know, have my hand in them. 50,000 pages so far have gone towards PMTA.
Yeah.
And they're very basic flavors. They're not ultra complex. 50,000 pages, and nightmares, headaches, and almost a couple of heart attacks in the process.
Yeah, I mean,
I've already to that point.
I mean, and Bill is saying that flavor manufacturers will suffer. Well, some of them will suffer. I've already spoken to one flavor manufacturer who said that he's doing everything that he can do to not have to cut back on his staff. But he feels like that's a possibility. Most of the flavor houses have flavors that are not for vaping. I mean, most of them have multiple lines, multiple streams of income. So, you know, some of them are definitely going to be at less. They might have to rejigger, but I mean, you got to realize that these flavorings that we use were originally aromas.
Correct.
And a lot of them are used in confectionery manufacturing. A lot of them are used in all sorts of stuff. So I'm not worried so much about most of the flavor houses. There are some flavor houses that are specifically started as vape flavor houses. But they're usually a division of some other company that makes aromas or whatever for other things. So I'm not so much worried about them.
Well, even the EU now, they're now looking at taxes and and backing up on
we were beta
what's happening.
We were beta testing legislation for them because we've had taxes.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Minnesota's had a 95% wholesale tax since 2010.
Yeah. Well, again, here in Australia, the 1st of September, we just had all our tobacco products go up by 12.5%, another 12.5%. So you're looking now at what was, a $35 packet of cigarettes, add another, $5 to the end game on that one.
Congratulations.
I'm going to go refresh my drink. You guys
refreshing your drink.
I see Amanda's in the room, so keep your new toe to a high enough level for us to hear it. If you are going to the rally tomorrow, you are on White House property. So for those of you who were not there the first time, do behave yourself. Don't be giving out shit. Nothing for free. No samples. None of that shit. You'll get tossed. Nice, happy, friendly. First Amendment. Keep it clean. Make sure the president hears you. If he flies back over again, we'll know we're making progress. Last time it was kind of a known thing. It was if he gets out and goes on his little chopper that everything stops. So everybody had to move off property completely.
Yeah,
we're half a mile from him, but you can see it clearly. We saw it, believe me. So Bruni, I told a long time ago, by the way, Paul, I didn't know you at the time, that if you guys had trouble, and this was 3 or 4 years ago, tell me how I have to package what I need to package to send it to him. Now it turns out I might have to have him send it to me.
Well,
isn't that crazy?
This is the really strange part, because with what Dimmy said the other day on the DP show, and I actually got to see parts of it, not all of the show. I looked into this, and I've spoken to different people here that work within Australian trade. And what they're doing in the United States, this actually goes against the free trade agreements.
Mm-hmm.
So PMTA actually stifles free trade agreements as well between the two countries. No one's talking about this. If we can't get US products here in the shops in Australia, and all our original figures were, about 240,000 Australian vapors. Wrong. 520 to 550. These are the new figures that are coming out. And we've got the turkey that I'm going to call him, Turk, that, I pulled his pants down now. I literally I pulled his pants down. I'm sorry, but I'm going after him with all guns blazing. He lives on the Central Coast. Oh, no. He lives on the Central Coast, not far from me.
Oh, okay.
And this public health business, where he's got his degree or whatever from, that's actually based in Pakistan. And it's all e-health. It's all e-health. I looked at the website and I went, this looks like a chop shop for phone scams. I thought, yeah, this is hilarious.
So just for my own edification, because I wanted to I don't know if tomorrow during the rally Trump will even be there or not, because he has nothing on his schedule for tomorrow.
And then highlight Bill's thing I just sent to you. Also, if you're at the rally, Bill's got another good point. Branded clothing, signs, keep it to a minimum. No branding. None of this buy my shit stuff, which I think everybody's going to self-police, believe me.
Well, I mean, I will say that, I watched the videos from the last thing. There were quite a lot of people wearing their T-shirts with their brands on them at the event. I don't know that that's that's on the radar for these people. But I mean, why risk it?
Right.
Why risk it? Why not just show up with a regular shirt? You know,
Kassaha shirts.
Don't be that guy. Yes, you know, wear a Lungs Matter shirt.
Lungs Matter shirt.
Yeah. Wear a Lungs Matter shirt, or wear your state trade association shirt.
Correct.
Or you know, I mean, there were quite a lot of people walking around with their branded shirts on. I mean, there's no denying that. You know, and hell, if you see Grim Green, because he said that he was going to be bringing face masks. He was going to bring, you know, a bunch of face masks to hand out with the Grim Green logo. If that's the case, I mean, that's not a vaping brand. That's his personal brand. So I don't know that would be a big deal.
Right.
But you know, it wasn't a big deal during the first one. I mean, I didn't particularly care for it, but there were people wearing, you know, tons of their branded clothing at that event. So Bill is saying that some of the organizers said that there shouldn't be any branding that puts them at risk of being shut down if the White House decides to play hardball. So you know,
the rule is if they say leave, you got to leave. Period.
Well, duh. Secret Service comes up to you and with their little white earpiece thing coming out of their ear, and those guys are built like brick shit houses. They walk up to you and they say, "Hey, you need to leave."
Yeah.
You don't argue with them.
No, fuck off real quick.
Don't, because those guys know how to kill you like 500 different ways.
Pretty quick too.
I mean,
and they can pick you off from the White House. We saw them.
In my previous life, I did a lot of work with Special Forces guys, where they grabbed me and threw me into a hole in the ground so that I didn't get shot. And a lot of the Secret Service guys are ex-SEALs or ex-Delta Force guys and Special Forces guys. So you don't want to fucking piss them guys off because they know how to hurt you.
Yeah.
They'll fuck you up real quick.
I would have, and I specifically heard somebody say that you could wear your state trade association shirt if you're in the industry. I would imagine that you could wear your Lungs Matter shirts because those are not branded. That's not a vape brand. That's obviously saying Lungs Matter. So yeah, Trump has no public events scheduled on his calendar for tomorrow. So he could be at the White House or he could be playing golf. You never know. He's played more golf than any president ever. Somebody's been tracking it. I saw the statistic that he's logged more hours playing golf than any other president. Which, you know what? I don't care. If everything's getting done and he's got all his work done, you know, I'm a fan of if I get all my work done, I should be able to go home early. I should be able to go do whatever I want to do as long as I can be reached by telephone.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't care if he's playing golf. Is his job done? No.
He hasn't fired Jerry yet.
His job ain't fucking done. He hasn't fired Jerry. He hasn't pushed for PMTA reform. He hasn't saved small businesses like he said he would. He hasn't gotten rid of overbearing regulation like he promised he would. So his job ain't done. So he shouldn't be playing golf. Period.
I'm actually starting to wonder whether or not he's doing the deals on the fucking golf course.
Hey, that's how business gets done. I'll tell you
100%.
We got more shit done during vape events afterwards than we ever did on the floor of the event. It's always at the bar or the restaurant after the event. It's always, you're hanging out after by the pool. You know, some of the best vape events were the ones that close at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, because that gives you the rest of the evening to hang out and to get shit done.
Yep.
A lot of these vape events that go to 9 o'clock at night, you're like, why?
Mm-hmm.
The best ones were always the ones that ended at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Those are the best ones.
most of us used to leave and go to a restaurant or to a bar and have something to eat and a couple of drinks and then go back to the hotel. And then it was an open room policy, like Phil was saying the other day. And you could just go from room to room and talk to whoever you wanted to talk to in real time. That was fun. I miss that shit.
We went to an event in Dallas years ago. And this was before there was a state trade group in every fucking state. Me and the militia, Joe, we had rented a condo for 2 days. It was like far away from the event. It was like $100 cheaper than everywhere else. It was a 2-bedroom, like condo sort of thing. And a lot of shit was happening in Alabama that week. And Zach from Cyclops was there. And Gordon was there. Gordon Tinsley was there. He had, I can't remember what his brand was. And we ordered food and had it delivered to the fucking condo. And while we were there at the event, there were people in Alabama. We were in a text group talking and stuff, and formed Breathe Easier Alabama at the event that night.
Wow.
So yeah, it was always the most work always gets done at the event afterward, after all the shit's done, you know, after all the fun is done, then you get to work.
Yeah, correct. Most of the time, well, the events that I've attended over the years, it was more fun after it, actually talking to people.
Oh, I've had plenty of fun.
Well, at the events, I used to just run around pranking people.
We did an event in Michigan. The Vaping Militia did an event in Militia. We took over the entire hotel, and we rented out the entire hotel. And there was like 40 or 50 vape companies there, and there was this open indoor courtyard in the middle of the hotel, and there were tables there. And after the event shut down, everybody just got beers and sat around and drank, and we played Mike Morgan and Chris and a bunch of people. We played Cards Against Humanity, and we were just having a great. I mean, there's a whole bunch of fun that happens at these events. I mean, that's kind of a nerdy fun thing, but Paul Blair was at that event. That was before, that was in 2015. That was before Trump got elected. And he was pushing for the guy from, I want to say, Wisconsin. He was the first guy out of the race. And that was the guy that and I kept saying, Trump's going to win. He's like, no way, Trump's not going to win. I'm like, Trump's going to win. He's like, our polling shows, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Trump is going to fucking win. And the other guy was like the Koch brothers candidate. He had collected millions of dollars from the Koch brothers, and he was the first guy out. I can't remember that guy's name now. But that was fun. I enjoyed that. Those kind of events were fun. When they get to be giant fucking expos with like 300 exhibitors and fucking playing in the background the whole time, it's not any fun.
No.
You can't have a conversation in that.
Yeah, by the way, most of the time they play shit music anyway. You know, I'd like a sidebar for all the older people, so we can go over and
they should move all the high Nick vendors and to one side of the event, and put tables and chairs for all the oldies like us,
with fucking bourbon and jazz. And oh, dude, how much business could we do in that space? Come on.
But that's also where they would put the hemo
fuckers.
Because most of the fucking old guys are the ones that have all the hemo devices and stuff.
Yeah, well,
I do want to show you something. Paul knows about this already. I showed this to Paul. What? So this,
yeah, old side by side.
This is a custom made device. It's stamped 2013. This was made in 2013. It's a Vamo.
Yeah.
that's been cut in half and made into a side-by-side mod, right? This
That's
is 2013.
badass. That's badass.
So this
Yeah.
is like the spiritual baby of that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are, like, even like the double barrel is, it's not. I just was going through my old cabinet and I brought that out last night.
Did I show you my Phil and Demetrius tube?
Yeah, fuck you.
I'm just joking.
I have the same one. It's just mine's not blue like yours.
No, it's silver.
Mine's blue.
I wanted the blue one, but that was a special Christmas only thing.
Mine's blue. Did I show you that?
Phil, Jimmy, he needs a blue one.
I'm telling you, I told Demetrius, I didn't tell Phil specifically, but I told Demetrius this was made for a smoker. So
it is. The
pretty
slide
fucking
tube.
good.
That's what they call. This is the slide tube. It comes with a slide tank, which is the tank that's on this fucking device.
Yeah.
Is perfect.
Good shit.
It's moron proof, so Kevin can use it.
It's exactly.
It's moron proof. There's only 3 power settings. It's got a great draw for a smoker. It is, and it amazes me that Phil and Demetrius's products don't do very good in the United States compared to how well they do overseas. And it has a lot to do with the priorities of the vape shops that stock product.
Yeah.
So,
Night, Mark.
Mark, have a good time tomorrow. I want to hear you scream all the way in Texas tomorrow.
Yep.
Take care, Mark. Hopefully see you on one of the live feeds. And finally got my hands on the Aries too.
And mine's over there. I put it in the cleaner and it's dried, or it's drying. It's not dry yet, so I haven't been able to build it again because I have something to put in it.
And by the way, Kevin, we are going to have to teach you how to build a coil because you need this in your life. I don't care what you say. Oh,
Baby
fuck off. We're teaching. Fuck
Baby
off.
You can buy pre-built coils.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I will.
Trust me, dude.
I've got spools of wire here. I'll just pre-build a whole bunch of coils and put a.
Trust me, dude. You actually need one of these in your life.
You just need a flathead or a Phillips head screwdriver.
That's it.
I've got a screwdriver that is Phillips and flat, either one. So there you go.
This is my vape screwdriver.
That's a tobacco product.
It came in a vaping rebuild kit. Look how awesome it is. It's got Starry Night on it.
Yeah,
or no, that's not Starry Night. That's
scary.
the way. It's very psychedelic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm in like a 60s groovy movie.
But you like Patrick and I, both of us like the stuff from Aspire, right?
Mm-hmm.
This will make no offense to Aspire for saying this, but as a very simple rebuildable, this is next level.
I don't even think Aspire makes a rebuildable anymore. I think everything they have is a drop-in coil.
But is it moron proof?
They do.
They do?
If it's not moron proof, I can't do it.
No, this is moron proof.
If Paul can do it, you can do it for sure.
I may end up doing it. I don't know.
Hey, I'm trying to encourage him, Paul.
If all my shit breaks, then yeah.
Hey, you didn't think you could DIY, but you're DIYing now.
I know. Don't tell anybody.
Why not?
I want to encourage people after
moron
Doomsday.
proof.
After Doomsday, once I get money to buy another camera, we're gonna put a camera setup over there at the rebuild state or at the mixing station, and we're gonna do simple 1 flavor or 2 flavor or 3 flavor DIY mixes live on the show.
See, Bill said he gave up building until the ARES came out, and it blew him away how easy it was.
Aries.
Oh, Aries.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what this is.
Well, that's Aries.
This shit. This shit is next level. Honestly, I've got a lot of high-end tanks. This thing stands up to some of like $100 plus.
You guys have to remember, I didn't even know that. All I knew was
he's still using an ego pen.
Yeah, I know. All I knew was,
but you can put this. You can actually put this on that tube.
I can stick it up Simon's ass. That's what I'm thinking. So I didn't know anything about straight lung or mouth to lung. Laugh if you like for those in the group there, but I didn't even know that existed. So is that a mouth to lung?
Yes, it's designed specifically for people that vape like us.
Okay, for me,
Bill Tarling says it straight up and down. Bottom line,
I believe you.
I believe everything Bill says.
I just need more on proof. That's all.
You get a thing.
I'm the moron. Now you got to prove it to me. That's all.
Where's
but I'm also saying
with your tank comes this little tool like this.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is wrap your wire around that part.
Yeah.
Pull it tight, squish it a little bit, pull it out a little bit so that it's spaced evenly, and then put it into the thing.
I've seen the coil part. I know about it.
And 2 screws and a bit of cotton and bada bing, off you go. Thanks for coming.
But then I'm a drip.
Bob's your uncle.
What?
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
No, you don't have to drip into it. You fill it.
Who said
you
drip?
do fill it.
Yeah, there's a hole in the top, and you fill it. Just
Right.
like the slide that came with that tank.
Okay.
The Aries 2 has the same exact mechanism.
This is the Nautilus. This is the Nautilus on steroids. That's how I put it.
I do like my Nautilus. I do like that.
That is the Nautilus on steroids.
Oh, shut up. Go away. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. Fuck you.
And Bruni,
not even fair or funny.
Bill is a wise old man. I agree.
He's definitely old.
He's older than you.
That means he's old.
Oh, did
Might be
you
older
did you
than
see did you see the thing? I think I sent it to Jimmy or Phil the other day. I think it was Jimmy. No, go away. Fuck off. Fuck you, fucking shit stirring bitch.
I got a blue one.
No, you don't. Not like that.
Skip that. See, that's why I love Skip right there. What size wire? How many wraps? How much cotton? What if I don't know Ohm's law?
26 gauge, 7 wraps. Works every time. Comes out to the same resistance every time.
Skip, we're going to have to do now a build video just to shit stir you. Fuck this.
Why would we have to make a video when Demetrius and Phil has the most detailed fucking videos on how to rebuild that? There's a fucking barcode in the box when you open it that takes you directly to the video and shows you the simplicity of building on it. And he does it in Phil language, so it's very genteel,
simple,
calm.
It's very simple to
easy to listen to, because if I make a video, I'm gonna cuss and be grumpy about it.
So why? That's the problem.
If Paul makes it, he'll call you a dickhead a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your wire, you dickheads, and you put it around here like this, and you wrap it around here so many times, you dickheads, and you put it in here, and you squeeze them down like this, and you dickheads.
That's right.
Too funny.
That's exactly how it would go if Paul did it.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really, actually. I've still, well, in my speech, there's no cussing whatsoever. Right?
I would hope so, because you're not going to be the one delivering it, and it wouldn't sound nearly as funny if somebody else. If somebody else delivers it, it won't have the humor.
Did you cry when you edited it?
Well, there's a couple of bits and pieces in that are going to rattle a couple of cages. Put it that way.
Good. Our cages or their cages?
Oh, the FDA.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yes.
Well,
I concur.
Only if I don't have to use lube, because they're fucking us without lube. So,
yep.
Well, they've been doing that for years, dude.
And I want to use a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
What?
With spikes. Of course.
If I'm fucking them, I want to use an appliance. I don't want to put my personal parts in them. I don't know where they've been.
Oh, well, they're the ones with all the warnings on the fucking drug labels.
Yeah.
So
that's what worries me the most.
For not having an official guest, I think we've done a pretty good show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You're
not a guest, Paul.
We showed you videos that were annoying and made you angry.
Mm-hmm.
We've given you value for your buck.
We've got thousands of people that are going to the Alamo in DC.
And I don't want to be negative because I don't, if I'm negative and then maybe Skip will offer to.
You're gonna piss Skip
to
off.
give $50 to Kasa again if I do positive. So maybe I should do that because Kasa needs another $50. Kasa's going to need as many $50 donations as they can fucking get. Because regardless,
you are Kasa. You are. I'm
going to mute you if you keep talking in the middle of my sentence.
All of us.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether Doomsday happens next week or not, Kasa is going to still be fighting for you. VTA, if you're in the industry, VTA they're probably, I haven't really seen a lot. I'm worried that VTA might be running dry too with as much money as they've been spending. So, if you're in the industry or if you got a couple extra dollars, you might want to send it VTA's way because they're going to fucking need it too because they're going to fucking be fighting. We're not done by any measure, by any definition of the word done. We're not done. Regardless of whether Doomsday happens next week or in 3 months, we're fucking still going to be here. I will figure out a way. All of our bills for this network are paid until February. So we're going to be here until at least February. We'll figure something out after that, but we're going to fucking be here. So we're not done fighting. We're not done. We're flying the pirate flag. We're going to do everything that we need to do to win. And that if that means that we have to cheat and we have to figure out ways to provide product to people that can't legally buy it. We're going to figure out ways to do that. I don't care what, I'm a human being and my job is to help other human beings not die, period. So yeah, whether we've been positive or negative or not, we're going to fucking be around. Paul's going to still be here. Kevin's still going to be here. Bill Tarling is not going anywhere. Bruni in Australia is not going anywhere. Skip is not fucking going anywhere. We're going to figure out ways to continue to save lives, period. So whether some of the words that I say on the show might be negative, there's a reason. And I said this last week, if everybody is only saying positive things, people are going to fucking get lazy. People aren't going to do what they need to do. Just like, and I'm going to hurt some people's feelings right now, we've known that the deadline for PMTAs was going to be soon. Whether that was in 2022, when the deadline was 2022 or not, you can't believe that you could have completed this PMTA process in only fucking 6 months. You should have been working on this shit 4 years ago when we knew that it was coming. Parts of this could have been done. I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. The fucking science could have been done if you had the money. And there were e-liquid millionaires in 2016 that had fucking money that could have put some money in on the testing of their products. Now that the industry contracted after 8/8/16, and then there was price wars going on, a lot of people fucking, aren't making the money they used to make. But when they were making that fucking money, they could have done some of this. So I sympathize with the small businesses, but there are fucking assholes in this industry that have made excuse after excuse about not supporting advocacy, about not doing the right fucking thing because they wanted to buy the new Yeezys or the new fucking Ferrari or Lamborghini or sports car or big fucking truck or whatever. So I'm not going to say that everybody in this industry did the right thing, because it's not fucking true. It's not fucking true at all.
Nope.
So yeah, we're not fucking going anywhere. I'm going to keep saying the things that people don't want to hear, because the truth is not always nice. Paul, what do you got to say?
I'm going to keep doing things that are not nice to certain governments around the world, and I'm not going to give up my seat at the table. I really don't care anymore. PMTA is one thing, but watch what they're about to do. They're going to roll back the clock to 2013, 2014, when it was the Wild West. Everything and the underground railroads that the FDA and the US government has just done or doing is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You try and silence a worldwide community now, watch what happens. Australia, we had a ban in play. That got shut down in less than 7 days. We got another 6 months. You guys have got years and years and years added on to yours. We get 6 months. There's a lot of people willing to dig in like ticks and keep fighting for what is right and what is real. I'm not going anywhere. My email every fucking day of the week for the last 3 months has been full of people. Can you help me? You're outside of the country. No, I can't help you. The pattern is full. We can't accept anything. We can't do anything. And then my only mantra now is, if you build it, they will come. And it's the only thing, I'm going day to day by right now. But please, everyone, be safe and loud at the rally tomorrow. All of us in the community that know what's what, we will try and stream, voice, and do everything possible to get this message out across the world. Because if the FDA does not back down and Trump doesn't come through on his promise, sorry, mate, you're not going to be there in power at the end of the year. It's going somewhere else. And personally, I don't like the other candidates that are in play, but sorry, United States, you're doing the fucking wrong thing. This isn't just all about you. You're fucking the whole worldwide vaping community up with the PMTA process. And I'm calling for PMTA reform right here, right now. And this is talking for the rest of the world. Thank you.
Voices. All of us have voices. My silly little survey was 7,000 plus voices all over the world. It amazed, astounded, made me cry, made me laugh. A guy said, I think he was in the UK, if I remember, that one of the best things about not smoking anymore is that he doesn't cough and he doesn't wet his knickers. And that was one of the funniest things that I had read out of those, just the comments themselves. I went last time to DC because I wanted to speak for somebody else. Now I'm trusting others to speak for you and me in the same care and custody that I took for it. And it's not just the United States, it's everybody. Everybody around the world is watching this again. It was March where we were going to go to begin with. Now it's 4 days from Doomsday, I'm calling it now, or the new Tobacco Day, National Tobacco Day, next Wednesday. I do agree with Patrick. Some of these companies that had the money didn't do it, knew it was coming, and the little guys are getting fucked out of this. It's the little guys and the smokers that are getting screwed. So hopefully there'll be some press again. Hopefully everyone behaves themselves again. It was a really good rally last time. So I expect the same out of everybody this time as well. I appreciate who can go and is going, and I understand who isn't. And I'm pretty confident in the loudest badasses being there. So that's what I got, Patrick.
You know, I already said most of my piece before Paul talked, but I just want everybody to be conscious of the gravity of our situation. We have what potentially could be the end of tobacco harm reduction coming, whether that's in 4 days after tomorrow or 3 months after tomorrow. And how important this moment is. I mean, we have tomorrow to be loud, and that's whether we're loud in DC or loud on Twitter or loud on Instagram or loud on YouTube. We have the opportunity to stand and deliver the message. We are not going to disappear. We're not going away. We're going to be here. Whether you demonize us, whether you ban us, whether you make us into criminals, saving people's lives is important. And we're not going to lay down. So tomorrow, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be using this same platform to stream everything that I can. If I find a good stream of the event, we're going to restream it. We're going to share it. We're going to show Twitter what's going on Twitter. We're going to try to promote this as much as possible. If Kevin's available, Kevin's coming. Paul, you're invited if you want to come. Anybody that has a voice, we're going to be here. We're going to try not to talk over the speakers. But, you know, we're going to be here to share the information and to put stuff on screen to show you that other people are fighting for the lives of smokers, for this industry, and for, you know, the people that have made that choice already and just want to enjoy, you know, nicotine and getting nicotine in the safest way possible. So love you guys. If you're in DC and you're away from your families, just rest assured that you're doing the right thing. If you're at home, turn the computer off when we're done and go and hug your kids, kiss them goodnight, go to your wife and just be happy that you can do that. Because we've had people fall. We've had people that were in our community that have passed, that have gone away because of the damage that smoking did to them. I remember Fiamma Palermo, very first I'm Proof.
I'm Proof, yep.
She's no longer with us.
Agent Anya?
Specifically because of smoking. Agent Anya, who was an amazing Twitter warrior, a beautiful woman. Just remember that we're fighting for them as well. We've picked up their legacy and we're fighting. We're continuing to go. We're continuing to battle ahead. Back in the old days of Vapors TV and Spreaker, or not Spreaker, Justin TV and all the other platforms, there was a guy named Phoenix. Phoenix died. Lots of us have fallen by the wayside, and we're still going. So we're going to continue. We're going to keep fighting. If I fall, somebody's going to pick up the torch and keep running. We're not done. We're not going away. And there will always be people fighting for the future of this industry and for smokers. So yeah, be good. We're gonna go out. I love you guys, and just wherever you are tomorrow, just do what you can. Follow us on Twitter. Follow other guys on Twitter. We're going to be retweeting. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff. And we just want everyone to do what they can. We're not asking you to do everything. We're asking you to do something.
Yep.
So love you. Be good. Stay out of trouble. And we'll see you in 7 days. Well, actually, we'll see you tomorrow if you're here. Yep. Bye.
See ya.
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
It's the same battle, Mr. Myers. We've been at it before. They want to addict these kids, this time to an e-cigarette, which has a chemical that's addictive. We know what it leads to. Sadly, it leads to tobacco addiction, disease, and death.
I'm going to get you addicted to nicotine. I have a customer for life. We have hundreds of cases nationwide where people have gotten sick or died using these devices.
Look what they're trying to do. All the delicious flavors of e-cigarettes are poison.
They're not people giving up smoking. They're not people that ever smoked before. Most people that vape never smoked before. Just think if your kid was doing this and winds up with an IQ 10 or 15 points lower than he or she would have had for the rest of her life.
Most people who vape are current or former smokers. Legally, e-cigarettes are tobacco products. For the addicted adult smoker who switches, there's going to likely be a reduction in risk.
Addiction is being fueled by kid-friendly flavors and kid-friendly cool marketing. It is outrageous that these companies specifically market their bad products to kids.
There is a moral panic over it.
There is a moral panic,
and they can't find anything wrong with it, so they're hell-bent to find something.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
The most disheartening thing is still the anti-choice rhetoric, the desire to enforce this quit or die mentality and refuse to allow individuals to reduce their risk unless they're willing to give up everything.
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.